Hey folks, my name is Genova. Welcome to another Ether stream. Am I coming in a little louder than usual? A little clearer? Am I too loud? How's the audio? Hopefully it's good. If you can hear me breathing and huffing and puffing and doing all those things, let me fucking know. I think I figured out how to make the audio a little better on my side, or at least for me. I know the audio for the videos is fine. Still working on the video for the videos, but hopefully I'm coming in loud and clear. Yeah, tonight we're going to do something a little different. We've been doing spook shows for the last couple days. So tonight we're going to do Freakshow. That's what we're going to do. And it's going to have a lot of different things. We're going to have circus freaks, and we're going to have some public freakouts, and we're going to have some internet fucking weirdos, and we're just going to laugh. I mean, we're probably going to hell tonight. Somebody sent me something, and somebody sent me a few videos and said, I don't know if you're willing to go this low. And I mean, I was willing to go that low. So there are some videos in there as well. So I sound good. Thank you, Cindy. I'm deaf. Was I too loud? Sorry. A show all about me. That's right. So yeah, I mean, we might as well just jump right into it. Let me just, there we go. All right. I still haven't figured out how to get rid of that fucking bar on the top, but it is what it is. For now, you guys have put up with it. I promise you at some point I will figure that shit out. Hopefully I am coming in louder. I think I figured out how to raise my volume, even though it was already maxed out, which apparently wasn't enough. So I'm hoping that works. But let's get right the fuck into it. Let's look at some fucking freaks. All right. Killer Lobster Boy. Let's check this out.
A sideshow can be a rather scary place, but sometimes the scariest things happen once the show is over. A family with a startling deformity, a love life that turned to vicious violence, and a desperate attempt to resolve an unfixable problem. All this and more as we explore the anatomy of murder.
What is this? Is that a little gray you got going on? I feel like that's gray on purpose, you know? Like he put that in his hair. You don't have like the gray like I've actually got it, which is just natural. That salt and pepper hair.
The home of Grady Stiles, more popularly known as the Lobster Boy, was an unpleasant place to be. During the carnival season in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Grady was one of the many sideshow performers who people came to gawk at, sometimes in wonder and sometimes out of rudeness. But Grady never concerned himself too much with the opinions of onlookers. He was only there to put on a show, whether his audience was impressed or not. Grady was born with a severe deformity called electrodactyly, which resulted in the fusion of Grady's fingers and toes to form what appeared to be pincers for extremities. This was obviously where he got the name Lobster Boy. Because of his deformity, Grady couldn't walk and was confined to a wheelchair.
I've had gray hair
his legs
for
almost flipper-like and unable to bear weight.
Actually.
This resulted in him using his upper body to maneuver around, usually in a wheelchair. All of that locomotion provided by his arms turned Grady into a rather strong man despite his downfalls. But he didn't only utilize his strength to make life easier for himself, but he used it to also make life harder for others. Screams often erupted from the trailer that Grady and his family called home. Grady frequently beat his wife, Mary Teresa Stiles, sometimes even in front of their 3 children, who he would at times beat as well. There was no doubt that Grady Stiles was a cruel man. Anytime the children would cry, Grady would never offer sympathy to them.
Porky, my power level is none of your fucking business. There, you asked me to do that and I just remembered.
Instead,
sorry,
he'd
go
threaten them
We'll
and
we'll
berate them,
continue.
exclaiming that he would give them something to truly cry about. His fingers, though fused, acted effectively as true pincers, viciously pinching his wife, choking her, and slamming her in the face. Aside from this, one of his more favorite ways to abuse his wife was to headbutt her in the face. Those who witnessed his outbursts remarked about how eerie and capable
Get a
Grady
fucking
was.
headbutt,
In
bitch.
seconds, he would fling himself out of his wheelchair and scramble across the floor like an animal, holding himself up with his four meaty, enlarged fingers. He'd overwhelm his target and quickly take them to the floor, where he'd begin working on them with violent attacks. He was relentless, groping his wife harshly and tearing at her skin, jabbing at her eyes, anything he could to hurt her. At one point during one of these fights, one of Grady's daughters, named Kathy, who was pregnant at the time, attempted to break up the fight and separate the two by rolling Grady's wheelchair in between them. Grady became so infuriated by this that he turned his fury to Kathy and beat her so badly that she went into labor early and delivered a premature child born with the same deformity as their vicious grandfather. The Stiles home was an incredibly unstable place to be for everyone except Grady himself, but getting away from it all wasn't so easy. Grady Stiles had 3 children with Mary. Of them, 2 possessed the same deformities as their father. Truth be told, the deformities had been in their family for generations. Grady would often tell the crowds about how his father and grandfather and great-grandfather and so on had been born like he had been, and once his children aged a bit, he added them into his sideshow with him, traveling as an act known as the Lobster Family. Of the many issues in their family, money really wasn't one of them in terms of poverty, as Grady would make anywhere between $50,000 to $80,000 per season and was considered one of the major stars of the show. There were no gimmicks with the Lobster Family, no tricks or illusions. What the crowd saw is what the crowd got. Once the winter set in, the shows closed down, and many of their performers, including the Stiles family, resided in Florida until the new season came around. Despite the pleasant weather and more free time, Grady still didn't hesitate to inflict physical and emotional pain on his family.
Sure.
If only Mary had known when she was
That's what a
younger what she
husband's
knew
job
after
is.
marrying Grady, perhaps it would have
That's what the man
made
of the
a
family
difference.
does.
At age 19, Mary ran off to join the carnival, escaping her old life. Oddly enough, she felt like she belonged best there, despite the fact that she was surrounded by people with shocking abilities and deformities. As for her,
Clean
she
your
was what could
lobster
be considered
room, Zach.
normal. She wasn't there for the same reasons the performers were, but the carnival always needed staff to keep the shows running. It was here that she met Grady Stiles, often watching him as he sat in a small cubicle and waved at those who passed by and stared with wide eyes and a mixture of disbelief and shock. Mary didn't see the monster so many others had. She quickly fell in love with Grady, and the two were married. Mary remembered that Grady was sweet as could be, a true gentleman. But when Grady got some alcohol in his system, something in his mind switched, and he became a much scarier man, a true monster, greater than the one others saw him as. He was a real nightmare come to life. Mary was impacted in ways that she would never forget. Mary remembered that Grady typically was a great guy when he woke up in the morning. He'd wake up at 8, be drinking by 10, and would be terrible the rest of the day. In 1973, their marriage hit its first end when Mary decided that she couldn't take the abuse any longer after Grady launched himself at her, took her to the floor, ripped her pantyhose away, reached his clawed hand inside of her and ripped out her intrauterine device, a device used to prevent pregnancy. Mary was so disgusted and horrified, emotionally wounded from the actions, that she wisely left him. She went on to marry another man sometime later, but Grady's rage knew no limitations while the two were separated.
Pussy, girl.
And just because he was at a physical disadvantage didn't mean he was incapable of murder. In 1978, one of Grady's daughters named Donna had found love. Donna hadn't been seeing Jack Lane for very long, but the two were deeply in love. Donna, different sources claim, was between 15 and 17 years old and Jack was 18, but the two decided to get married anyway. Grady forbade the marriage, threatening to kill Jack numerous times. Donna, very unhappy with her drunk and abusive father, wanted an escape and told Grady that if he didn't approve the underage marriage, she would live with Jack anyway. This further enraged Grady, who prided himself in the ways he dominated his family and controlled
It
them,
looks like
and he
Esau.
eventually fulfilled
It
his
fucking
numerous
looks like
promises
Esau.
of violence against Jack. Grady was at home when Jack came to see him on the night before Jack and Donna were to be married. It's
Thanks,
unknown
sweets.
what truly happened at that time, but what seems to be believed is that Jack stood up to Grady and attempted to tell him exactly how it was going to be between himself and his love,
Oh,
Donna.
sure. I bet
Other
that went
sources
well.
say that Grady summoned Jack to his home for a private talk, perhaps leading Jack to believe that he would finally get Grady's approval to marry his daughter. Either way, once Jack arrived, he was met with the barrel of a gun and was shot dead by Grady in cold blood. Once Donna had discovered what her father had done, Grady sat and smiled at his distraught daughter,
that's a
mocking
third the
her,
size of Esau.
saying, "I
I've
told
seen
you
some
I would
things,
kill
man."
him." Grady went to trial where the defense attempted to get the jury to pity Grady and his condition. They played heavily into the fact that Grady had an unfortunate life, driven to drinking and violence by the incessant struggles he faced. Poor Grady was just a victim of his circumstances. Grady even managed to conjure up some tears in the courtroom. His daughter Donna took the stand, telling Grady that she would see him at his grave. The jury deliberated for 3 hours and came back with a verdict: guilty of third-degree murder.
Good.
For it, Grady received a sentence of 15 years, but not in prison. 15 years of probation, a sentence that shocked many due to its leniency.
That. String
but the
them
truth
up.
of the matter was, the
String
state
them the
believed
fuck
that their
up.
prison system, even in their handicap-accessible facilities, wasn't equipped to handle the specific needs of Grady Stiles while behind bars, not only due to his deformity,
Exactly,
but his numerous
Hawk.
health
We
conditions he had
all have
developed over the
unfortunate
years from an
lives.
unhealthy lifestyle. So Grady got to serve his sentence from home, where he continued to drink heavily and beat his children at the drop of a hat.
Great.
Fate played an increasingly twisted game and brought Mary and Grady together again in 1989. Mary, surprisingly enough, forgave Grady and the two remarried, and Grady seemed rather decent for a time, but as it
Instead
almost
of carrying
always
things
goes, the
this
violence
weekend, we
surged
put them in
back to
orbit
the
around
surface,
Esau
as
while
did
we
copious
walked
amounts
around.
of sexual assault, where Grady would violate Mary with foreign
good.
objects.
It's clever.
But the
Lighten
murder
that
of
load.
Jack Lane wasn't the only murder that would be a part of Grady's unfortunate story. It came to a point one day, after yet another violent altercation, that Mary realized she needed to resolve this lingering issue. She was afraid for herself, but most of all for her family. During her year's divorce from Grady and with another man in the sideshow, she had another child named Harry Glenn Newman Jr. He wasn't a particularly smart boy, but he loved his mother dearly and became part of the sideshow himself as a human blockhead, often driving nails into his face
Look at
with
that
a
fucking
hammer.
head.
In November of 1992, Mary told Harry that something needed to be done about Grady and gave her son $1,500 to get someone to bring things to a beneficial conclusion. Harry took the money and hired 17-year-old Christopher Wyant, a carnival worker who lived next door, to eliminate his stepfather, Grady. The boy took the money, grabbed a gun, and approached Grady from behind in his trailer while he watched television in his underwear. A quiet moment before another inevitable act of violence. Christopher put 2 rounds in the back of Grady's head, killing him instantly. And that was it. After decades of torturous abuse,
50
Mary and her
years too
children were
fucking
free
late.
from the terrible lobster boy, Grady Stiles. But of course, the freedom came at a cost, as murder most often does. The police arrested Mary, her son Harry, and the killer, Christopher. Christopher was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 27 years in prison. Harry was convicted of first-degree murder. He sobbed freely in the courtroom and claimed that it had to be done to save his mother and her children. Unfortunately for him, self-defense isn't applicable when hiring a hitman. The punishment for first-degree murder was a mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole for 25 years. Mary, who no one doubted had been violently abused regularly, still had to pay for her role in the murder, but her conviction was reduced to manslaughter, and she was sentenced to 12 years behind bars. Mary's son with Grady, Grady Stiles III, claims that his mother never had her son hire anyone to kill her husband, and that instead, Mary simply said out loud, "Something needs to be done." Harry overheard his mother say this and went to the neighbor, who decided to help them by killing Grady without Mary's knowledge. Either way, Grady's violence violence will always be remembered by his family, who harbor no love for who their father was, but instead reflect positive traits and are considered good people who have no urge to bring harm to anyone else. A huge
West
thank you to Audible
Longside.
for sponsoring this episode. The people at Audible are big fans of Anatomy of Murder and have
I'm sure
graciously
they are.
decided to support this episode and my work. Audible is the leading
And
provider
my
of
work.
audiobooks with over 150,000 titles to
Alright,
choose
let's
from,
move on.
and they're offering you
The dark
Freak
history
shows,
of
a
freak
topic
shows.
even I'm reluctant to make jokes about. It's taken 4 years of making
buddy.
videos, but we finally found one.
We're gonna make a
It's
lot of
hard to see
jokes
a genuine
tonight.
freak show today. They survive mainly in third world countries where governments are too busy to deal with them. In the West, they have largely been phased out and replaced by coverage of American politics. But there was a time when freak shows were
They're
among
on
the dominant form
TLC.
of entertainment.
That's where we
a
put
time
'em.
when centuries of warfare had made society less empathetic, and abnormalities were little more than a thing of interest. The freak show was born from that world, and outlived it, lasting well into the 1900s. It provided sanctuary to those rejected by society, although this wasn't a life they would otherwise have chosen.
Hashtag bring back freak shows.
It's unclear how far back the history of freak shows goes, but by the late 1500s they were well known in Europe, travelling from town to town. Dark rumour would follow, telling of half-human monsters, mythical creatures and magic. But those attracted by such rumours would usually only find deformed people. People born unusually small or with extra limbs were especially popular. Yet as time went on, it wasn't enough, and showmen were forced to search far and wide for new specimen. For some freak shows, the answer lay in pickled punks, human fetuses preserved in glass jars.
Pickled
Acquiring
punks.
the fetus alone could be difficult, and knowledge of preservation was a closely guarded secret,
Brought to you
known
by
only to a
Planned
handful of
Parenthood.
specialists. This made pickled punks a prized possession of freak shows and private collectors alike. Many showmen created their own ones, using rubber or wax, but genuine specimen were always more valued. The Danish king Frederick II was an avid collector. The collection he started continued after his death, being passed down from king to king, and eventually contained several thousand. Deformed or abnormal pickled punks were often put on display alongside living freak acts for added horror. It's thought many collections of pickled punks still exist today, but due to laws prohibiting the transportation of human
that's your
remains,
family
they are
heirloom.
hidden away.
Just
The
fucking
biggest attractions were
pickled
always living
fetuses.
performers. Freak acts
Pass
could
these
rise
down
high in the
generation
world,
to
achieving
generation.
fame and fortune, or at least notoriety. One act to achieve all of the above was Matthias Buchinger. Born in 1674 without legs or arms below his elbows, he was just 29 inches tall. For many years, his parents kept the boy locked up,
The
fearing how
original
the
man
outside
went.
world would treat him. They were right to fear for him. At this time, abnormality was seen as a sign of evil. Some would hunt down and kill the disabled, believing it would please God. Life as a freak act gave Buchinger protection and a place in society. Somehow he dazzled crowds with magic tricks, fired a bow and threw knives accurately. He could play multiple instruments, some of which he invented himself. He was also a notorious womanizer, with 4 wives and over 30 children, if rumour is to be believed. For years he travelled Europe, entertaining kings and commoners alike, but then he died, because that's what happens to humans. 19th century industrialization
Thanks.
saw a new class of people born in Europe and North America.
'Cause
With
that's
money
what
to waste
happens
and
to
time to
humans.
spare,
Yeah.
they were looking for new
Okay.
kinds of entertainment. It was the start of a
Joke's
golden
on
age
you,
of
I'm
freak
never
shows,
dying.
where vast wealth could be made by successful
Which
operations.
is kinda sad.
In the United States, venues of lowbrow entertainment known as dime museums began to spring up. Here patrons would see exotic animals, mysterious objects from around the world, and freak acts, all for a dime. The most successful dime museum was run by P.T. Barnum. Barnum gained massive profit by exhibiting some of history's most interesting acts. Among them was Chang the Chinese Giant, standing over 8 foot tall.
P.T.
There was
Barnum
Prince
was a
Radium, the
swindler.
limbless torso, who could roll cigarettes with his lips. There was Zip the Pinhead, said to be from an African tribe of missing links. Inventing backstories was a talent of P.T. Barnum. On meeting 2 American brothers with dwarfism, he knew exactly what to do. In time, they were billed as the wild men of Borneo, natives of Borneo Island. When their tribe attacked a merchant ship, sailors captured and took them to America. They were clearly white, which you'd
Look at
think
that
would
dude on the
complicate
right.
things,
He don't
but
give
no.
no
Most
fucks.
people in those days
Look
knew
at those
virtually
guys.
nothing about anything. People had no idea
What up,
Borneo
my
was
dudes?
even in Asia. So the wild men gained massive wealth over a 2.5-decade career. Interestingly, they were abnormally strong. Despite weighing just 45 pounds themselves, they could each lift 300 pounds, so they were
What?
basically Gimli. This was the genius of P.T. Barnum. He knew that marketing is all about
They just
storytelling,
sprouted out
and
of
was
the
never
ground.
happy to unveil an act or exhibit without a sensational backstory, even if it was in no way true, as was the case for the Fiji mermaid. The Fiji mermaid, a strange creature unknown to science captured in the waters near Fiji. Even before being put on display, rumour that Barnum had a real mermaid in his possession caused wild speculation. Massive crowds came and believed what they were looking at was genuine, but when a biologist came to view it, he knew it was in some way fake. As a biologist, he refused to accept the existence of mermaids, yet he could not think of any way the Fiji mermaid could have been created. It was created long ago when the lower half of a dead fish was sewn to the upper half of a dead monkey. An American sailor bought it from a
Fish boy.
Japanese fisherman in 1822 and brought it home with him. At the time, Japanese fishermen often created hybrid specimens from multiple animal corpses, but word of this seldom reached outside the Orient. One night, the Museum of P.T. Barnum caught fire, destroying a number of items. Among the lost exhibits was the Fiji mermaid. Barnum went on to found a circus, and became the mayor of Bridgeport, Connecticut. Freak shows were always taboo, but it was during this generation they became most normalized. Not all freak shows were equal. In some areas, freak acts didn't consist of people who were deformed or abnormal, they were just ethnic minorities. That's not even a joke. There were people who had their minds blown by the sight of someone from Asia.
I mean, a case
So at
could be
freak
made
shows, you
that
could expect to
ethnic
see
minorities
exotic
are
artifacts,
freaks.
genetic abnormality, ethnic
Of their own
minorities from
kind.
every corner of the world, and even people with supernatural abilities.
Supernatural abilities.
Mirindadjo is an Esperanto term for the word wonder. This was the stage name for one of history's most mysterious performers. Dadjo was said to be indestructible. At shows, he would allow people to pierce his flesh with a blade, without even flinching. Dadjo often had swords pushed through his abdomen. He would
What
then
the
walk around the
fuck?
stage casually as if perfectly fine. On one occasion, he went for a run with a sword through his stomach. When doctors tested this ability, X-ray scans showed that the sword genuinely passed through his body. Modern experts agree that the objects really were piercing his flesh. It seems that Mirindadjo really was superhuman, rather than just an illusionist. He was also able to swallow shards of glass and razor blades.
What the
On top of that,
fuck?
he claims to have been shot in the head twice. It's unknown how much of that is true. Mirindadjo's real name is Arnold Henskes. He was born in the Netherlands in 1912, and according to the story he told, had multiple paranormal experiences as a
Vampire.
child. As an adult, he realized that God had made him invulnerable, and decided to spread the word of God by performing. But of course, he wasn't invulnerable. In 1948, he swallowed a metal needle, apparently on the advice of an angel, and needed it surgically removed. The operation went smoothly, but days later he fell dead with no clear cause, leaving one last mystery of Mirindadjo. By this time, freak shows were in rapid decline.
All those-
Advancements in medical science
All
were
those
explaining
impalements
abnormality
finally caught
after
up to 'em.
abnormality. With scientific explanations for their differences, freak acts lost the element of mystery that was so vital to the business.
I think that guy's name is called... Is that one pinhead's name is Schiff? Something? Something like that? Alright guys, this next video, there's one more in it. I don't know if we're gonna watch the whole thing. It is... it's a low bar. So...
iPad?
Okay,
Okay.
go to the iPad.
If
Yeah,
it's too
iPad?
much for you guys,
Okay.
just
No, not that way.
let me know.
Can you say,
We'll skip it.
I love you, Dad?
And Dad,
Is she the boss of the house?
Oh, definitely.
Of course she's the boss of the house. You're gonna tell her no?
go picture,
You have a book?
go picture.
I would love to read the book with you. Would you like me to read it?
No.
No? Thank you for telling me that. I don't always want to read books either. Sometimes it's better just to play with toys.
Do
Do you want to read books?
No.
Bite her
Do you
face
want to play
off.
toys?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Hi, Uncle.
Hello. It's nice to meet you.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you more.
Aw.
I love you the most. Will you give Mom a hug? Oh, thank you.
That poor girl.
Welcome to SBSK. We believe that everybody
Now somebody
has a
actually
story
made a
that's
video. I
worthy
love
of
how
being
chat
heard.
just fell
When we
silent
listen
for
to
this
one
video.
another, the world becomes a closer place.
Now somebody had
and
made
we
a
all
video
benefit
about the
together.
guy that runs this channel,
So without hesitation,
quote unquote,
let's meet
exposing
today's
him,
friend.
talking about how he just uses these kids
When
for
somebody meets
like
Kate for the first
money
time,
and
what do you hope they
views.
think?
I know they're gonna see that she's different. That's obvious.
Oh,
But
what was your first fucking hint?
I hope they would think she's cute, and I think she is.
We actually think she looks pretty cute. Madeline and I love the way she looks, and she's got these incredible cheeks, huh? She's got very kissable cheeks, and her hair that is finally coming in. It's been about 5 years, 6 years that she didn't have hair at all, and now her hair's finally growing.
I hope they would watch her and see the cute things that she does, and maybe think that they'd like to get to know her or come over and say hi.
Not likely.
Are you showing everyone your sticker?
I'm not trying to be mean.
I like that. That's a great place
I'm
for
not
your
trying
sticker.
to be mean. It's just the
Well,
reality
you know
of
what?
the world.
If you're
we
gonna
live
have a
in.
cool sticker for your head,
Kids are
I need to
not
have
gonna
a cool
want to
sticker
hang
for my
out with
head.
her. She'll have like maybe one friend who really doesn't care,
I guess I just want them to
who's just like
see
a
her the way
super
I see her.
saint.
I don't know. She's beautiful to me, and she's smart and funny, and maybe just give her the chance and the time that you need to get to know her.
And she can't change the way she looks. She was born that way. She came into this world that way.
None of us can really change
But
the
what we
way
can do is
look.
we can look at her differently.
I mean, outside of like plastic surgery.
who do you like more, Sleepy or Dopey?
Sleepy.
You like Sleepy the best?
Sleepy. Battle. Battle.
Is he your favorite?
Battle.
What do you and Kate talk about when no one else is around?
We tell stories. She really likes this show called Super Monsters, and so we make up stories.
She's
with the
trying to
characters in the
start a
show.
revolution
I
on
think she
Mars
has a crush on one of the boys in the
Against-
show named Frankie.
against Cohagen.
You like Frankie? Frankie.
Was there any fear when Kate was first diagnosed?
Yes, a lot. I'd never heard of it before. I didn't even know how to spell it. I still don't know if I know how to spell it. But yeah, we didn't really know what Pfeiffer syndrome was, or what it entailed for Kate. We still don't know. Kind of like they don't tell you like a life expectancy or anything like that. They don't. There wasn't a ton of cases.
There's not a lot of information, yeah.
Yeah. I remember going in and seeing Kate for the first time in the NICU, and she was hooked up to
It's true, Zach.
monitors and
It's very
machines
true.
and cords on every limb of her body.
She's the leader of a
Her head was
successful
wrapped,
revolution
and
on
I
Mars.
remember, as her father, feeling pretty scared and worried for her future. At that moment, Kate, as I was kind of just stroking the back of her hand, she reached up and she latched onto my finger really, really tight. And in that moment, I knew that she... Yeah, I'm sorry. I knew that she would be okay and she'd be a fighter.
Her life is different, but it still has all the same important aspects. She still has joy. She still feels pain.
Coco has it.
Oh, Coco?
Coco has it.
I don't even know what she's saying right now.
Do you two talk a lot?
Yeah, we do. Sometimes we don't always understand what she's saying, but she knows what she wants to say. Oftentimes, Kate wants something, and she clearly knows what she wants,
she's
but
kinda
we
cute.
don't know what it is that she wants.
I mean, little kids
And,
are, she's a little kid.
she'll sometimes throw a
She's
little bit
acting
of a
like a little
tantrum
kid.
to
Little kids are
try to
always
help
cute.
us understand, but verbally she's not very great at that communication, and so
I feel bad.
sometimes
I feel
it
bad
takes us
for
a
her.
while. Just, do you want this or do you want this, or trying to find that right thing that she does want.
Because, I mean, we all know what's in
What do you
store
want to
for
do?
her.
Do you want a sticker?
No.
Great, look upon.
She's thinking about
Great,
it.
look upon your works
What
and
do you wanna do?
despair.
Do you want to give Mom a kiss?
No.
Oh.
No.
Please?
Oh.
Oh, thanks.
How do you know whether to prompt her more or give her time to think?
Oh, thank you. I guess. It's hard to know.
She's trying
Sometimes you can tell
she's
she's
trying to get
thinking,
in
like,
that
if she
mouth.
just stops for a minute, but other
Pull
times
that
you can tell
tongue
she's
out.
getting distracted. I guess just time I've kind of learned.
Do people underestimate Kate?
Yeah, absolutely. She
Is she a
is actually
ventriloquist?
extremely smart. She knows she can
This is
count
why I
to
support
100.
eugenics, not out of
She
hate,
knows all
but
her
sympathy.
letters, all her colors.
Good.
Good job.
No.
Good job.
Sure, no is her favorite word.
You are so smart.
No.
Good job.
Did that kid just fall on the floor?
We discovered that she started pointing out things and acted like she knew what they were, and so we started challenging her and trying different things and quizzing her, I guess. And she just took
That's
to
true,
it,
Cindy.
took to learning her
Maybe it'll
numbers
be easy.
and her letters.
I mean, you could be a perfectly
the letter
normal
J.
kid,
What letter is this?
and other kids are still gonna fucking rag on you. So we all know how hard it's
One
gonna
day
be.
I left the room and we were
But
playing with
hopefully-
those little blocks with the letters.
hopefully it
and
works out
she
for her.
spelled her name by
She seems
herself.
like a good kid.
S. G.
Great job.
I.
What animal is that?
I.
Is that a...
Bet.
Yeah, that is a rabbit.
Tree. Tree.
She gets really excited and she's proud of the things that she knows. It's
Just
fun.
change every card to no. She'll be a genius.
You're so smart, my friend.
Ah.
I'm proud of you.
G.
And I'm happy you're teaching me all about these letters.
E.
What is Pfeiffer syndrome?
Pfeiffer syndrome is a syndrome that affects the bones in your body. She also has other things that are outside of Pfeiffer syndrome that she was born with.
She does have a
Different
long-standing
chromosomal
feud with the
defects, but
Hulk.
Pfeiffer syndrome affects the bones in your body, so when babies are born, their sutures in their head are usually open, and Kate's were fused, and so when she was born, she came out with a very kind of clover,
Sanctuary.
strawberry-shaped head.
Been
Sanctuary.
different than I thought it would be for sure when I thought about being a mom.
You guys ever seen Page
Been night and
Master?
day different than that.
Remember
but
the
it's been
Frankenstein
better than
book?
I thought it would be.
Remember that
It's been really
book?
good. Can't imagine life without her, huh? She's a goofball.
We found out 3 days before she was born that she had something wrong with her. Madeline's whole pregnancy, we thought everything was fine. And then 3 days before, we found out that Kate had a little bit more amniotic fluid than normal, and they noticed her skull was a little bit different. And so we had a
Sure, it took a real
special ultrasound.
scientific
And
test
they
to find that
confirmed
out.
that was true, and there was some other things that they were worried about. And then 3 days later, it kind of rushed. She came. She was 33 weeks, so she was 7 weeks early. So she was just little.
Do you mind sharing some of the ways in which it has been different than your expectations?
Yeah. For example, babies kind of have these milestones, and my second child is healthy or typical.
She
and
went
so
on
I've
to tell the
been able
Persians
to
about
see
a
the
secret
difference.
passage behind
Each
behind
thing
the
took longer.
300
It took a lot more
Spartans.
work. It was harder for her. She was doing. She had a lot of surgeries, especially.
It
the first
hurts.
couple
It
years of
hurts to
life,
make these
and
jokes.
So when you spend your life in the hospital, you're not spending it learning how to do things.
Why is it important for Kate and people with a similar diagnosis to be represented in video and media?
Because I think people see her and the kids will say words like scary and weird, and it's because they haven't seen it before and they're not exposed to people with differences. And I think the more
Mom's pretty
I'm okay
hot.
sharing Kate because then when somebody sees her, they've already seen her before, or when somebody sees another kid with a similar
Look at her
disability,
face.
they've seen Kate.
She
and they
is
know
thinking about world domination
about it,
right now.
I guess. Because I guess the unknown is what's scary or what's weird. But when you get to know Kate, she's just like any other 5-year-old girl.
Oh, that's sweet. You're making the prince and the princess dance.
Thanks for watching SBSK.
Thank you,
Click subscribe here to
SBSK.
be part of our community.
Alright.
Then
Let's move on.
11 amazing, famous circus
The
freaks.
people I'll feel less bad about making fun of.
Number 11, Simon Metz, Schlitzie. Though his
Schlitzie,
true
that's the name I
identity
was
is
trying
not
to think of
definitively known. The most accepted opinion is that Schlitzie was originally born Simon Metz in the Bronx, New York. Unlike William Johnson,
That's what most people
there
from
is
the
no
Bronx
debate
look like.
that Schlitzie suffered from microcephaly. He was only 4 feet tall,
I think
had an
Schlitzie was
extremely
also
small,
in the
pointy
movie
head,
Freaks.
and was about as cognitive as a toddler. The man, who was often presented as a woman in shows, had an indomitable spirit that won over audiences and makes him a sympathetic and well-known figure to this day. The popular TV show American Horror Story features Pepper, a character that is based on Schlitzie. Number 10. Frank Cannonball Richards. Homer Simpson would surely count Frank Richards as an icon and an inspiration. Frank noticed that his stomach seemed to be
There's
impervious
only
to
one
pain after
more,
letting friends punch
Zach.
him in
It's
the
later
gut
on.
over and over. Feeling no pain,
I only
he
put
decided
two
to step
in.
his game up
That
and
was one of
profit
them.
from his amazing gut by letting the then heavyweight champion of the world, Jack Dempsey, punch him in the gut. Still feeling nothing, he moved on to letting people jump on his belly or whacking his iron-like gut with a 2x4 or a sledgehammer. Still able to absorb the abuse, he finally allowed himself
Unless,
to be struck by a
unless
cannonball
somebody
shot
they
from
talk
a
about
spring-loaded
happens to be,
12-foot cannon.
a-
He would
a
only do
child.
this twice a day because doing it
some
any more
girl
often
with
was
two heads
too
or
painful,
something.
which is funny considering the fact that most normal people would have been long dead by this point. Number 9. Fedor Jevtuchev. Fedor was born in St. Petersburg, Russia, sometime in 1868. Like his father Adrian, Jevtuchev was afflicted with hypertrichosis, an abnormal growth of hair covering
Yeah,
the
he
face
looks so
and
bored
body.
in that picture.
The condition also left him with few teeth. He began touring in sideshows in 1873 and would eventually go across the sea to America and start working with the now famous P.T. Barnum and his cast of sideshow freaks, earning a comfortable living as Jojo the dog-faced boy for the rest of his life until he passed away on tour in Greece of pneumonia in 1904. Number 8. William Johnson. Zip the Pinhead. Pinheads are people born with a neurological disorder that is characterized by having a small head. It is a condition called microcephaly that is also often associated with mental disorders. William Johnson did have a small head in relation to his body, but showed signs of intelligence throughout his long and successful life, which leads people to wonder whether or not he actually suffered from the malady. Either way, fame and fortune were a constant presence in his life as Zip the Pinhead. He passed away in 1926, and his funeral was something of a show in it of itself, as it was attended by many other circus freaks of the time.
Is that where that movie comes from?
Number 7. Arnold Henskes. Mirren Dejo,
big
the
whatever.
Invulnerable Man. Arnold Henskes was born in Rotterdam in 1912 and headed a design firm until the age of 33, when he claimed to realize that his body was invulnerable. Consequently, he left his design firm and went into business for himself, performing human pincushion acts
Could you
under the
imagine
pseudonym
coming to the
Mirren
realization
Dejo
that you're
that
invulnerable?
confounded spectators and medical professionals alike.
Bitch.
In
I'm
1948,
fucking
he
immortal.
claimed that voices told him to swallow a steel needle and then have it surgically removed. He did so, but died a few days later from an aortic rupture that was probably caused by complications from the surgery. Number 6. Chang and Eng Bunker. Should
Chang.
this take up 2 spots on the list, or 1? Chang and Eng Bunker were born conjoined in 1811, and they are the origin of the term Siamese twins. They began touring the world as a curiosity act in 1829. Doing well for themselves, they eventually settled down on a plantation in North Carolina and married sisters with which they had a total of 21
Them
children.
looking fucking
One
dapper.
morning in 1874, Eng woke up to find Chang had died in his sleep. A doctor was summoned to try to perform an emergency separation to save Eng's life.
Talk about dead
but
weight.
it did not work, and Eng also passed away.
Oh no.
Number 5. Prince Randian, the living torso. The child of British Indian slaves, Prince Randian was born in 1871 without arms or legs. P.T. Barnum discovered him and brought him to the United States in 1889 when he began his career performing sideshows. He had a remarkable ability to make things work despite his severe handicap. He was able to shave, write, and as can be seen in the movie Freaks, roll a cigarette. Randian died of a heart attack shortly after his last performance on December 19, 1934. Number 4. Minnie Woolsey, Cuckoo the Bird Girl. Minnie was born with what is believed to be a condition known as bird-headed dwarfism. She spent many years in a Georgia asylum before joining circus shows.
Dwarfism.
Eventually, she landed a role in the popular 1932 film Freaks, which propelled her to fame. Her act as Cuckoo the Bird Girl involved her dressed in a feathery costume, dancing around animatedly, and talking in thrilled gibberish to the audience. Little is known about the later part of Minnie's life. Some accounts say that she performed into her 80s, and it is also said that she was hit by a car sometime in the 1960s. Number 3. Bill Dirks, the man with 3 eyes. Bill Dirks did not actually have 3 eyes. Ironically,
Watch out,
he only
ladies.
had
Bill
one
Dirks
working
out
eye.
here.
He was blind in his right eye and painted his third eye as a part of the show. He was born with a condition that is today known as frontonasal dysplasia. His face failed to come completely together, and he
Joaquin
had a
Phoenix.
deep cleft lip,
Joaquin
open palate,
Phoenix
and a
syndrome.
split nose. The early part of Bill's life is fairly depressing. He was not able to go to school, and his family was ashamed of him due to his shocking appearance. Luckily, while working in a circus show, he ran into Melvin, the anatomical wonder, Burkhart, who would go on to become Bill's close friend and who would look out for his best interests. Bill passed away on May 7, 1975. Number 2. Grady Stiles Jr., the Lobster Boy.
Oh, this
Bill's
fucking
family
asshole.
had been afflicted for generations with ectrodactyly, or lobster claw syndrome. Grady was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on July 18, 1937, and suffered from a severe form of the syndrome. He was recruited by his family to be a part of their act at an early age. He married twice and had 4 children, 2 of which were also born with electrodactyly. The clan would sometimes tour together as the Lobster family.
The clan.
Grady was also a drunk who would abuse his family, and one night in 1978, he murdered his oldest daughter's fiancé, shooting him with a shotgun. Using his condition
He
to
sounds
his
a little
advantage,
too enthusiastic
Grady was
about
able
some
to
of this
avoid
information.
imprisonment and actually remarried
Grady was
his
also
first
a
wife.
drunk.
Instantly regretting the decision, his first wife decided to hire an assassin, who murdered Grady on November 29, 1993.
And now for number 1. But first, be sure to subscribe for new videos every day.
Number 1.
Good.
Joseph Merrick, the Elephant Man. Like so many people with severe visual deformities, a lot of Joseph Merrick's life is a sad story. Born in Leicester, England on August 5, 1862, Merrick was by all accounts a perfectly healthy toddler until the age of 5, when he began to develop patches of lumpy gray skin. By 17, he was unable to work due to his physical deformities, and his father beat him for not making money. Forced out on his own, Merrick eventually decided to take advantage of his appearance and started working as an act in freak shows, calling himself the Elephant Man. He found success in this arena for a while, until his manager abandoned him and robbed him of his savings. By this point, Merrick was physically in bad shape and had nowhere to go. He was helped by the London Hospital, which reached out for public funds on his behalf.
Didn't they make a
Enough
movie
was donated so that Merrick was
about
able
this
to
guy?
stay in the hospital and live in
remember it
comfort
being
until
pretty
he
good.
passed away at the age of 27.
I think he suffocated in his sleep. Alright. This is a little bit different. This is extreme plastic surgery.
Some people dedicate a lot of time and money to seeking out a change, and a change is exactly what they'll find, whether they like it or not.
That's right, John Hurt Rock, yeah.
Beauty comes at a price, and you get what you pay for. In 2005, Regine Narinsingh was undergoing a drastic transgender transition. Originally born a male,
These
Regine
look like
wanted to
fucking
express what she felt on
missing
the inside.
child
However,
photos.
all of this came at a major cost.
Have you seen this
Unable
boy?
to pay for the expensive cosmetic surgeries, Regine turned to alternative routes in order to look
Is that
and
fucking
feel her best.
Freddie
Many women in
Mercury?
the trans community encouraged Regine to visit an exclusive black market
Anthony
nurse
Hopkins,
who had
I believe, is in that too. That's
successfully
right.
assisted in many beauty procedures around Miami, Florida.
Freakshow, and I
Desperate
didn't have to pay.
anxious
That's
for
right,
fast
Strong.
and
It's free.
inexpensive
A free
results,
show.
Regine turned to O'Neill Ron Morris, a transgender female who assured Regine that while she wasn't a board-certified plastic surgeon, she had extensive
Who
medical
gets that
training
fucking
and had
ass and
qualified
says, "No, that's
experience
good.
as a nurse.
No, that's good."
Regine
Yeah.
felt an unspoken
Yeah,
bond
that's-
with O'Neill,
that
believing
looks
that the
great.
two shared similar transitions,
Fuck
and
outta
she
here.
decided
People
to
are
get
fucking
the work
dumb.
done. Over the course of 3 cosmetic sessions, Regine received
Surprised
multiple
this species
injections
has
in her
lasted this
jawline,
fucking
lips,
long. I mean, we
cheeks,
are a
breasts,
fucking
hips,
plague,
and
but
buttocks.
holy shit.
The injections were incredibly painful, and though beauty does come at a price, Regine didn't think it could be such a painful experience. O'Neill promised that everything was going to be okay, reassuring Regine that she had injected her with medical-grade silicone. Everything appeared to look great until Regine began developing a rapid infection on her face nearly a year after her sessions. After visiting doctors,
Okay,
Regine
so
had
he
discovered
broke
that
his
the
neck. I thought for some
injections
reason I
inside
thought
of
he
her
had
body were not
suffocated
silicone, but
in
instead
his
were a
sleep because he
toxic
decided
stew
to
of cement
sleep on
and
his
tire
back.
sealant.
But
O'Neill
that makes
Ron
more
Morris
sense.
was arrested in 2011 after previous patients came forward to police.
Thank you, Zach.
Regine now faces the consequences and continues to undergo multiple treatments that will unfortunately never.
Dude, that picture of her in court. That's gonna be Nicki Minaj and Cardi
Dolls
B in
tend to be
20
a
years.
morphed idea of the perfect person, sex dolls included for some. For French model Victoria Wilde, no other type of doll would do for the inspiration behind her transformation, fueled by the idea that anyone would want to be treated like a bimbo doll because it's such a sexy look. She, with the financial help from her modeling career and her supportive boyfriend, has spent over $40,000 to pay for rhinoplasties, permanent lip implants, Botox, and 3 breast enhancements, leaving her breasts at a whopping size 32G. And because of this, she has come much closer to her dream of looking just like a sex doll. She chalks her reasoning up to an inferiority complex at a young age and claims her boyfriend adores her look and all the attention she receives from it.
I'm sure. What the
Nearing
fuck is with people
200
adding a shelf
cosmetic
to their
surgeries,
ass?
this man will do just about anything to look exactly like his favorite doll.
Ken doll.
Justin Jadlico was once
This
a
fucking
normal-looking
guy.
adolescent. For years, he struggled to maintain his confidence and decided to undergo 1 rhinoplasty at the age of 17. Not satisfied with the first attempt at having a perfect nose, Justin continued to undergo multiple surgeries that went far beyond altering his nose. Once becoming an adult, Justin made it his life goal to become 100% plastic, giving himself the title of a real-life Ken doll. In just over a decade,
I bet
Justin
his
has had a staggering
personality
number of
resembles his fucking look.
191 procedures, totaling over $250,000. Multiple rhinoplasties, brow lifts and shavings, cheek and lip augmentations, as well as tricep, subpectoral, thigh, calf, shoulder, and bicep implants. Justin continues to get work done and has starred on several TV shows such as Botched and The Doctors. For some, the pursuit of beauty is worth any cost. Jocelyn Wildenstein grew up in a middle-class family in Switzerland. While in her 30s, she went on to marry Alec N. Wildenstein, an incredibly wealthy man that was tied to a family of renowned art dealers. Infidelity and violence struck the couple after a decade of marriage. Jocelyn and her husband filed for divorce that resulted in Jocelyn receiving $2.5 billion at the end of their marriage in 1997. Jocelyn knew that her former husband adored cats, and because she wanted to please him after their divorce, Jocelyn reportedly spent $4 million on plastic surgery, turning herself into a cat-like
I've seen
woman.
that guy
Though
struggle,
many
yeah.
see her face as something
Wasn't he in an
unnatural, Jocelyn
episode
claims to be
of...
ecstatic with the results. She has moved on from the
X-Files?
scandalous failed
You're
marriage.
talking about the guy with
and is
like
now
the
dating
puzzle
new
pieces on his
people.
face?
Risking one's life for a chance at fame is all part of the journey for some people. Myra Hills, also known as B. Shine, is a German adult model who's reported to own the world's
100%
largest
fake,
augmented
inside
breast.
and outside.
Wearing a custom-made 32Z bra, each augmented breast weighs an astounding 20 pounds and are both filled with 10 liters of silicone.
10
natural size
fucking
Myra has
liters
been able to make a living making
each.
public appearances, modeling, and filming in the adult entertainment industry.
Oh, yeah.
Despite medical professionals encouraging Myra to refrain from going any larger in size, Myra says she plans on going from 10,000 cc's of silicone in her implants to a dangerous 50,000 cc's in the near
God.
future.
It's fucking mental illness.
A forked tongue may be a symbol
mate,
of
is this
evil
the guy
for
we were
some,
just
but
talking
not
about?
for all. Known in the
Yeah.
entertainment industry as the Lizard Man, Eric Sprague began transforming his body during his college years in 1994. While working as a performance artist, Eric wanted to explore the idea of what it meant to be human while physically altering his body. Since the early 1990s, Eric has undergone hours of enhancing his looks with dental filings, subdermal implants, bifurcating his tongue, and tattooing in order to achieve his reptilian appearance. Eric is now a Freakshow performer and participates in many public and private flesh hook suspension groups. The Lizard Man currently has his own wax figure at the Ripley's Believe It or Not Auditorium in New York City. Some people just get a bit too obsessed with fictional characters. Henry Damon, a 37-year-old husband and father from Venezuela, had a certain obsession with Captain America, but not so much Captain America himself as much as he did with Red Skull, Captain America's arch nemesis. But just reading wasn't enough for
Venezuelan
Henry.
Nazi.
He needed more, which is why he decided to undergo numerous procedures, from implants in his head, tattooing his skin and eyeballs, to even chopping away a good portion of his nose so that he could look as close to Red Skull as possible. And his appearance, which frightens
looks
a
like
good
a-
number of people, brings pride to Henry's heart, but like so many others
He
looking
looks
to
like a
completely
rejected
revamp their appearance,
version
he is
of it, you know?
nowhere
When they're
near
first trying to
finished.
figure out what Red Skull would look like, they're like, how about this? They're like, nah, throw that shit away. We don't want
A man known as the Stalking Cat, and you're about to figure out why. Dennis Abbott
Concept
grew up in
art.
Suttons
That's
Bay, Michigan.
that's
As a young
what
boy,
I was
Dennis
trying to
recalled
think of.
feeling excluded from humans and often wondered where his tail was hiding, believing that he was supposed to be born a cat. At the age of 27,
Oh, I
Dennis
just
began
thought this was
altering
a
his appearance
woman.
by undergoing multiple procedures, surgically
Hail
reshaping
Hydra.
his ears,
That's
filing
right,
his
Zach.
teeth, injecting silicone into multiple areas of his face, and surgically modifying his hairline were only a handful of what Dennis changed in order to turn himself into a cat. After years of transitioning, Dennis began receiving worldwide media attention. He starred in appearances for Ripley's Believe It or Not, as well as multiple interviews and TV appearances. Unfortunately, Dennis the Stalking Cat passed away on November 5th, 2012, after committing suicide at the age of 54. He was in the process of
Committing
receiving implants on
suicide.
top of his head in order to have tiger-like ears, just one step closer to achieving his ideal cat form.
I'm just not. The more I try, I'm just
Some
not a
people call
fucking
this
cat.
woman
I
a
can't
living
take
and
this
breathing
life.
doll. Valeria Lukyanova is a model from Ukraine that is well known
That's
for
what he
her
hung
natural
himself with,
appearance
Hawk.
resembling
A ball
Barbie.
of yarn.
With an incredibly small waist and plastic doll-like features, many are skeptical of the model after stating that she's only had one breast augmentation and has naturally accomplished her look by working out and dieting.
Yeah,
Pictures of
fucking
Valeria
right.
before
X to
her
down on
surgery
that
have
one.
recently surfaced online, proving her statement to be a lie. Though many like to compare Valeria to Justin Jedlicka, the two are reportedly not fond of each other, as both believe that the other is nothing
I see it
special.
strong.
Valeria
I'll
has
put it
always
over here.
focused
There's a
on her
couple,
spirituality, and
sorry.
in 2014
There's a couple
announced
of,
that she would refrain from eating
other
and
things,
drinking,
too, I got on
and
deck in
instead
case we,
would
have
focus on
time left
receiving
over,
her
so.
energy from light and air.
Light and air?
Going against a doctor's orders
Keep her
can
out of the
often
light
lead to
and cut off her
detrimental
air supply.
consequences. As a young adult, Hong Mioku took her good looks to the modeling industry and never looked back. With everything going for her, Hong wanted more than what she was prepared for. At the age of 28, Hong moved to Japan and invested in injections that would aid in smoothing her skin, making her appear youthful for years to come. After multiple treatments, doctors refused to treat Hong due to her face swelling from the copious amounts of injections. Upset with doctors' orders, Hong took matters into her own hands and began self-injecting her face with cooking oil that she had bought from the
isn't that what the
grocery store.
fucking, like,
Years of abuse to
aren't
her
there some
face
guys that
resulted
do
in
that with, like, their
severe swollen
biceps and,
baggy
like,
skin around her
testicles
eyes,
and
cheeks,
shit?
jawline. Hong had become unrecognizable to the public and lost her modeling career because of her actions. Now regretting what she's done, Hong has no other option but to turn to professionals in order to fix the damage. She now lives the rest of her life attempting
She looks
to
like
undo the
she looked like she got
consequences
attacked
of
by a
her
chimp.
mistakes.
Ever see that
That's
lady?
all for now. If you'd like to learn more creepy and bizarre aspects to our world, be sure to subscribe to my channel.
Thanks, Rob.
Also, be sure to follow my
Alright, you guys
social
have
media,
you
which
guys
is
may have
shown
seen
on
this
screen
next
right
video.
now. And I will
And you
see
may have
you
heard of this guy,
next
but I threw him in
Wednesday.
here because he's a fucking freak.
So that's the brother, I guess.
This is a Dead Wing
That's
Dork
the
video,
dad
so he's the
down
guy
there.
who's talking.
What the hell is he even doing? He's just sitting in that creepy room filled with toys. That's a really haunting visual. I don't like that. There's like nursery rhymes happening. This is fucking horror movie footage. Oh, we're about to
If
see
you guys
the
don't
monster of the-
subscribe
of
to
the
Dead
movie,
Wing
everybody.
Dork,
Brace yourself for
Dead Wing
impact.
Dork is fucking great. If you like looking at weird shit on the internet,
Hello,
that's
ladies and
basically what he
gentlemen.
does.
Welcome back to my channel once again. I'm delighted to have you guys with me today, and today's video is going to be a pretty interesting one. Originally, we were going to be talking about anti-vax Facebook groups. They call themselves Vaccine Choice now. Yeah, that turned out to be a bit of a dry subject. You know, it's kind of hard to make jokes about, haha, your kid got measles, haha, you're a loser. So instead, I got recommended
this
in my
video's a lot
comments
longer than I
recently
thought it
somebody
was,
by the name of
so
Dayton
we may not
Hypernova,
watch the
and
whole thing.
I looked into them, and it's, well, it was interesting. Now, I'm not suggesting anybody go harass this person or anything like that. We're all just passing observers on the wacko starship that is my channel.
That's
We're
the
just
YouTube
looking
shooter
out
in the
our
corner
windows
there.
at the weird shit that's going on the internet. Wow, 1 hour ago, part 7. What the fuck? Okay, so when I did this, it was at like 7 in the morning, and Dayton here has uploaded like fucking 20 videos since then, so that's cool, I guess. That's something that's happened. I guess we've got a lot to unpack here. I have no idea if Christina Ricci is watching these videos, so I just kept recording it. What? Are you stalking Christina Ricci? What the fuck? Okay. Well, let's watch this one, I guess. This was from a few hours ago. Why Christina Ricci? Is this all black? So this is just like a weird, raw, random recording of like stuff.
Come on, Dad, get to
Anybody
it.
doing like audio work? You need some background audio noise, like at a dinner party, right there. There you go. Yeah. So if Christina Ricci, I guess, if she's watching.
I'm gonna skip ahead, guys.
Which one is she? Hang on a second. Yeah.
Your wife.
Oh yeah, that's another one. Body slammed. The brother body slammed him. The tiny kids. We got that one right here. A lot of the same like terms. A lot of repetition. Yeah, I don't know how true any of this is, but I don't know. That's just a thing that I've noticed. So you might pick up on that too. Let's just get into it though.
Oh, you're fired. That man in that room sleeping in there beat me down, body slammed me in front of you and your wife.
Oh yeah, that's another one. Body slammed. The brother body slammed him.
Two people that brought me in this world and that man in this world, and I work in this house below minimum wage, and I don't. Yes, I do. $100 a week is not adequate pay for what that work is. It's not adequate pay. You owe me money for the week of January 12th. 2019. $3,000. You shut that was all last year. Why are you even breaking something up that we agreed about? We agreed it's on camera.
$100 a week. I mean,
it's on camera.
that's certainly not below minimum wage.
All you have to do is pay me $100 a week as long as I'm working in this house, and that is that. That is all this is.
You're way ahead of me.
What?
You're way ahead of me.
This poor old man is trying to like just like deal with this guy who's going like 1,000 fucking miles a minute. And this old guy is just like just trying. He's like old, you know, and he's trying to calmly deal with this person. But there's just no like empathy or anything for cool. That's a good way to treat your father. Let's see. Bigot older brother around my sister's tiny kids. He's a hermetic alcoholic who beats me. Right. We covered that. That's right.
I know you're trapped in here.
What you doing there,
Revenge
buddy?
of the
This
Sisters
is like really
commentary on this
experimental
family
filmmaking.
portrait.
We get to see the faces through the slats in the railing. It's deep.
Hey, girls, come on. Muffin, Izzy, Luna. Wanna go outside? Let's go outside.
Look at how dirty that is. Serious questions are also being raised about the rest of this guy's family. I don't know. The whole family seems a little bit interesting. Let's just leave it at that.
That's my dad sitting in the hallway downstairs by himself. Kids that they're babysitting.
Look at his
This ain't it, Chief. This ain't it.
He was just sitting down there spitting. I don't know what he's spitting. He's not a very well-kept man. And
Yeah, you're one to talk. He looks like the fucking cop from Samurai Cop. Can we all just agree that if you have a 5 o'clock shadow, like, there has to be a line somewhere? I'm all for the rights and the acceptance and all that. It's all cool by me,
going to a
but
different video.
listen, there's a line.
This video's a little too
Thank you all
long.
for 100,000 subscribers. Smash that sub button for more daily videos.
Alright, freak out. Probably seen most of these. Holy shit.
So you really just gonna break my window?
I didn't break it, you broke it.
You broke my window, you broke my TV. Wow.
Now give me my keys.
I don't know where your keys are at.
Look on the couch, Ellen. Hurry up!
I'm not looking for shit.
Hurry up!
This is breaking and entering. This is breaking and entering.
This is me getting my keys.
It's breaking and entering.
So I can leave.
Breaking and entering.
Stepping through all that broken glass.
As you can see, I'm looking for my keys now that he wouldn't give me.
Breaking and entering.
Defend yourself, man.
All because I couldn't get my keys.
Look, she got a cut.
He broke the TV.
Is that a cut?
Threw the container out the
There's
window.
all kinds of freaks in
Oh,
the
this
world,
big container
folks.
full of all this stuff that weighs probably like a cool 60 pounds.
That container with the glass on it, honey.
Oh, I threw that one. Oh, okay. Wow, tearing my apartment apart now.
Ain't that the truth,
Look at my
Strong?
arm.
That you
He did this.
I did that after you just broke the window?
In my wrist.
The police are on their way.
Okay, well help me find my keys. You wanted me out your house, right?
No, I want you to be here for when the police get here so they can see these videos.
She's gonna use the door. Now she's gonna use the door. Oh, she's taking the dog. You put that dog down.
Because you broke my window. Ooh, I can't wait to move.
Oh, what a bitch. You see the way she
Wow,
fucking
you
dropped
real
that
life
dog?
Crazy.
Fucking
Getting a
cunt.
restraining order, jit.
Can you please leave? Why would I? You just punched me in the face. You punched me in the face first. What do you want me to do? You're lucky I didn't punch you. I pushed you on the ground. You hit me in the face. You put me down. No, I didn't. Yeah, after you hit me in the cheekbone. Yeah, you see it? That's why I didn't punch you. I pushed you on the ground to get you away from me. Get off my property! Call the cops. Go ahead. No! You're f***ing nuts! No! Go away!
Holy shit, man. I feel bad for anybody who's had to deal with somebody like this.
Why?
Holy fuck.
When you calm down.
Open the door. Open the door.
Why?
So I can punch you in the face again. Ah! This is the type of person who their parents didn't raise them properly, and every time they threw a fucking tantrum, they got their fucking way. And then they grow up and they go through fucking life throwing tantrums every time they don't get their fucking way, expecting people to give in to their demands like everybody's their fucking parent.
I ain't dealing with this anymore. Look at you. Look at you. I ain't dealing with this. Can you get in your car and leave, please? Why should I? Why? Why?
You know this
So
ain't
you
the
do
first
what?
time. She's probably
wanna talk
done
to
this.
you.
She's probably done
I
this to
don't. We can talk
multiple
later after
fucking
work.
guys.
Yeah.
Meow!
Go ahead, break the door down. So I can take you to the cops and have you pay for it. No, I want to get you on video breaking it down. Go ahead. Breaking and entering. Go away. Go away.
A lot of
please.
boys like it too. Yeah, it's true, Hawk. Some dude, crazy people. There are people out there that just like crazy people. They're like, oh, I love. There's some guy probably watched this video and was like, oh yeah, no, I'm into
Well, if
her.
you can't get over it, then
What's
we
his
shouldn't be together.
problem?
Then we shouldn't be together. Can you please leave?
Then we shouldn't be together. What was your first fucking clue?
No. No. Shut for my own safety.
Imagine she probably
Yeah,
was
'cause you're
like,
nuts.
like he started dating her and it was cool for a couple weeks and she was nice,
I did
you
not.
know, and then he was like a couple minutes late to
punched me in the
picking her
face.
up, and she got in the car and just started
I didn't
beating
shut
his
down the ground
fucking
before he got
ass and going fucking crazy on him. And he was like,
I
oh,
tried carrying out the
okay,
house
and he
before we-
forgave it once,
Yeah,
you know, and then
then
it
I
happened
told him to
another
leave,
time,
remember?
he
'Cause I
forgave
remember
it,
clearly.
and then this is the final straw.
Because crazy like you turned me out to be a woman abuser. They spread rumors around. You know how small the county is.
The sad
They
thing
spread
is, if he
rumors
calls
around
the
small
cops,
county,
they'll
I don't
arrest
really
him.
care.
Yeah, most likely, Rock. She
Yeah,
she
that's
was
fine.
probably a cheerleader in high school too,
What'd she say?
and probably tried to flush a baby on her
I asked her,
prom
she
night.
said I never hit her. Hit her. Yeah. Call her right now. I never hit her. No.
She a
Why?
basic bitch too. Look at her.
Go away.
She's a straight
Yeah.
fucking
I'm
Becky.
done with this, Sarah.
Is that what the black girls call them? Beckies?
Then why'd you come back over? You could have you got your now leave. Talk to me about what?
Maybe multiple babies. Oh, I like how he fucking just
Why would
burps.
I want to? You're gonna come in here and destroy shit.
Unfazed.
Try to punch me
He's over here
Yeah, you are.
belching.
Well, I ain't opening the door so you can leave. You can leave.
It feels like he's kind of
leave.
he's trying to like stall her or get her to stay there long enough so that she starts like I mean she's already vandalized property, but
Mistake, 'cause it's always
feels like he's trying to
fault.
keep her there for the cops.
Psycho.
Fucking
Trying to crawl through my
psycho.
fucking window. Look at her.
What is this? Trying to crawl through my fucking window. Hit the wall at 18. That's right, Gray.
Get out. Open the door. No.
Ship her off to Muslim land. They'll straighten her out.
Leave.
Oh my God, look at her.
Leave.
Talk to me.
I will call the cops. Leave.
Talk to
See,
me.
this is somebody who is addicted. People get addicted to the fucking drama. You know what I mean? They hate each other, but they just love that fucking just adrenaline boost of just yelling and arguing with each other. Just fucking go.
And leave.
You unhappy. So, me and Snake, we like to play a game when we watch public freakout videos, and we like to pretend that all the freakouts happen in the same town. So keep that in mind when you're watching some of these. Just pretend they're all happening in the same fucking town. There's one village, one city out there where all of this shit comes from. It's probably in Florida.
Say what you want. Just leave me alone. Say what you want.
The fuck is she
Just
driving?
leave me alone. Why can't you just leave me alone? Why did you have to do this to me? Do what to you? I'm not doing anything to you. Cool. Whatever, dude.
She's driving a micro machine? The fuck is that?
Leave me alone.
Is that supposed to be a Beamer?
Leave me alone.
That's the kind of car like a fucking sophomore gets when they're in high school and they think it makes them like a fucking a racer.
Ever,
Put
dude.
a rice burner
say?
on it, some fucking
Leave me alone.
some fins.
Leave me alone.
Stalking them down the street in a
Leave me
fucking
alone.
car, Cindy. Look at this bitch! No, okay, this is definitely not a Beamer.
Leave me alone.
Busted ass car and a busted ass woman. God. This is crazy girlfriend freakouts, that's why they're all women.
Leave me alone.
Beep. Oh, I've seen this bitch before. Look at that, look at that. That's such a high school hoodie. It's like he's at the fucking safari and there's some wild wildebeest that come up to your window. They tell you to keep the windows rolled up, keep the doors locked, just drive through, stop every now and then. And then you stop, and this fucking animal is at your fucking window. Mm. I see that hawk. He said, "Wow, my hand's shaky." He's scared. She got him shook. Looks like an overweight Greta Thunberg without braids. Don't feed the animals. You're damn right, Cindy. Oh, now she's gone. Oh, she's trying. Dude, back over her. Well, you probably do more damage to the car. Did you post it, Porky? Did you post the video? Where'd you post it in? Where'd you post it, Porky? Oh, you posting it now? Okay. We'll play Porky's video. Just give me a second here. Fucking love public freakouts though. I'll binge watch those all fucking day. People are fucking stupid. I love people watching. I think most people like people watching. The wrong Discord? Alright. We didn't post it, Porky. Where is it? Better hurry up before I move on, Porky. I'm not just gonna sit here. We'll watch this. We'll watch this. Rare photos of the circus from the past. Porky, you get your video. Post it in general. I'll grab it. Okay, we got it. There you go. I see it, Porky. Alright, we'll come back. We'll come back to this video.
Hey, sorry I missed your call. I was just calling you back to let you know that I love you and I miss you. I really want you to call me back.
Oh my god.
And I'm sorry I missed your phone call and that I know
She
you're
sounds like a
done.
fucking car.
So when you get this, can you call me back? I love you and I miss you.
Who was that fucking guy? Some guy had like a crazy ex-girlfriend, like a website where he just we'll go back. That's the second part. Some guy had like a crazy ex-girlfriend website where he like posted all the voicemails he got from her, and there's like 500 or something. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. People are too obsessed. Let's move on. There's so many fish in the fucking sea. There's plenty. If it's not one person, it's gonna be another fucking person. Go. Look at that bitch. Ella Harper. That's the shit from Nightmares. Translation, I want to control your life. Please call me back. Get out of my dreams and out of my car. Get the fuck out of here. And then I can't do it because I have... Oh, I'm kind of digging this song. It's chill ass song. This is what I'd be listening to this kind of shit if I was fucking high. Just be like, oh yeah, man, this that jam, dude. Totally, dude. Some of these people we have already seen, most definitely. I think we'll definitely get a lot of some main repeats because there's definitely, you know, a certain amount of freaks that really made an impact that are pretty interesting. Look at that fucking guy. Looks like a fucking mafioso. Is he a boxer? Oh, he's a wrestler. Jesus Christ. But that guy could just crush your fucking head with his hands. Just easy. Like a fucking watermelon. He would make a great movie, Goonstruck. Two for the price of one. How about her? How about the mummified ape woman, Strong? Pastrana? Eight, six? We're all fucking manlets. Compared to this fucking guy. It's gonna be a no from me, dog. Albino Einstein? Right. Youth Gene. I'm sure somebody already made a joke about Gene. Same thing, part 2. $7-Eleven. You know that cowboy giant was like, "Dog, why you so small?" Ah, this song ain't half as good as the last song. You know, my last stream got a fucking is blocked everywhere in South America. The last spook show we did yesterday, it's blocked everywhere in South America because of cabin in the woods footage. What? I was like, what? What is this shit? 18 months? Ohio. From Ohio? Y'all saw that, right? These dudes are from Ohio. Four-legged. There's just some girl under her dress. Genova was the third brother. That's right. Usually people run away to join the circus. I ran away from the circus to join YouTube. I think I made the wrong career choice. Pip and Flip. If you've ever watched American Horror Story Freakshow, which I think is the 4th season, there's a lot of this shit in here. Who's that? That fucking guy next to them. Is that a clown? It's weirder than... That dude is my spirit animal. A leg man with taste. I think there's another girl that's very similar to that small girl. She's just as tiny, and she's from India, and they actually consider her a deity in India. They think she's like a god. I mean, I guess that's what you get from street shitters. Most American Horror Story is pretty bad, Jenny. I have like, I like season 2. Roanoke was okay, and the little bit that I've watched of the new season, 1984, is okay. Excuse me. No problem, Jenny. Welcome back. You don't want to show them all the freaks? I can tone my fucking language down. Alright. Let me see.
Hello, true believers. Welcome back to my channel. So, this is Gail Kordschuler. And,
we all know Gail,
telling
right?
me to look into her for a while, and I have. And the first thing that I thought was that it's a parody. And then I found out that she's been doing this since like 2008, and she's still doing this. Gail's men lost all their penises, Jesuit malware, endorsing Donald Trump, mental retardation epidemic, obese women's farts toxic.
If he doesn't show my favorite fucking Gail video, I might have to show it.
He's found a way to sabotage my orgasm with Brent Spiner.
Fucking fiend.
It's strange because I find Brent so exciting. And then when I jump into bed and begin the sex, the sexual excitement feeling diminishes. It has nothing to do with Brent. It's some sort of computer satellite technology.
Is it Brett or is it Brent?
With my sex
is there an
with my
N in there?
husband.
It's
Jesus
Brent Spiner,
knows
isn't it? Not Brett.
About this. In the millennium, when Brent and I are married, that Zach will never be able
you don't know
to interfere
Gail
with
Hawk?
my orgasms
or you
ever
do?
again. All
and
our
you're
orgasms are
responding
going
to
to be
something else.
awesome in the millennium.
The millennium? This was
Brent.
supposed to...
That's what I thought. Brent. Brent, that's not a name. That's the sound my sword makes when it hits a rock.
Once any woman reaches 300 pounds, their farts become toxic. And because of the obesity epidemic and because of our new laws that require obese people who weigh over 300 pounds to wear a butt plug.
That's right.
To prevent them from releasing their toxic and explosive...
No, Gail's onto some shit.
Law get passed? Maybe she
no,
doesn't
Gail
even
is
exist
onto
in this
some
universe,
shit.
and she's only able to transmit through the internet. Maybe all of this is true
all you
in
fat
another
fucks
reality,
need to be
but
plugging
we
your
only
assholes.
get to find out about it through her YouTube videos that, like, teleport.
So from here, he's gonna teleport. Mario, use teleport attack.
You never heard of Gail? Oh,
Mario
dude.
just
Gail is
to our
fucking crazy.
To enrich our lives, you know?
A lot of obese women are exploding. Their farts can start fires. The fire at the West Texas fertilizer plant was ignited because obese Ludmila Putin let out a fart there. She did it on purpose, too. These obese women's deadly farts contain toxic gases that can cause mental retardation. We are experiencing an epidemic of mental retardation.
Yeah, you fucking said it. When was this posted? 2013? Oh man, you haven't seen the fucking half of it yet.
Breathe in the fumes from these farts because these obese women are not able to make it to their canisters in time to let out their farts.
Yes, the designated toxic fart canisters. Wow, what the fuck are you?
Please show my favorite video, Dead.
Because they're forced to use these butt plugs, so the gas just builds up in them and explodes. And
all right,
this is because
you got
of the
that
new
from South
anti-fart
Park,
laws
Gail.
that we've just put
anti-fart laws.
Because they can't make it in time to the machine that we've developed to store their toxic fart gas.
Okay.
You know,
okay, so here's some.
What the fuck? When she looks at the blue sky, does she see like a Death Star hanging in the air that we just all miss or something like that? Jesus Christ.
So here's some deep lore on Gail that a lot of people don't know because it's really hard to actually find the video of it. A bunch of trolls who knew about Gail before, we all did, like almost a decade ago, convinced her that they were flying through space fighting Jesuits. That's right, fighting Jesuits. And they needed Gale to launch the codes on the space station so that their fucking lasers could work. I've only heard about it. I've never seen it, but it's real deep Gale lore. It's like one of the first things people call her on Skype. And they did this whole thing on Skype, by the way. Oh, she's a fucking...
Apparently we built these machines. Like, there's so many questions
she's
that are
so
all
fucking
pointless
funny.
to ask. It's like, the answer is ultimately just, she's crazy, but, you know, that's not a very satisfying answer. Okay, so that's the mental retardation, toxic lady fart gas epidemic. Okay. Church of Gale attacked by giant sentient burrito and taco. You see what I mean when I say it seems like a joke, but it's been happening for like a decade, so there's no way it's a joke. Oh, God. This one's only 2 minutes. This is gonna be a short one, but, you know, short but sweet, as opposed to silent but deadly, I guess.
We've got a bit of an emergency here. What happened is Bill Nye showed up and he created a shield that covered Mexico and transformed the Pukaki into burritos and tacos. We're eating the burritos and tacos, and they tasted good, but it also created 2 giant, evil, sentient tacos and burritos. And they have started eating the Mexicans and are attacking Church of Gale.
Man, this lady's fucking mind is like a surrealist wonderscape. Man, this is incredible. You know, like Psychonauts. This is the lady. This is the one person's mind I would want to jump into and just
Gale.
just see the world as it is according to her.
But we need more scientists to help Bill Nye, because Bill Nye actually came up with the shield. But
isn't Bill Nye like not even a scientist?
Yeah, I was just about to say he's not even a scientist. He's an engineer, and barely that.
Wonders. He's probably the reason that the world's in danger.
He thinks that the Jesuits he thinks that the Jesuits decalibrated his quantum subharmonic actuator.
Than fucking Bill Nye
Okay, we know she watches Star Trek, but man, she just pulled that one straight from her ass. Like, she thought about it for a second, and she was like, what's a good fucking techno babble? It sounds like appropriately Third Doctor. You know?
This giant taco and
burrito. Yeah, I have heard of Jilly Juice, Jenny. I actually almost put a Jilly Juice video in here. She's fucking crazy, and not just because she thinks drinking her juice will make you immortal or whatever the fuck she does.
Or something. I'm trying to visualize this in my head, but
she's still more likable than Jeff Holiday.
I'm in the middle of a Skype.
Imagine that.
Oh, yes,
you are Jilly
right.
Juice.
She has like a weird fucking
You're fucking crazy.
Apparently,
you're retarded.
His name is Terrence
and yet you're
Jenkins.
still more
I've never
likable
heard of somebody named Terrence
than fucking Jeff Holiday.
He's a judge.
Terrence Jenkins, whoever that guy is, he's one of the guys that did the space combat thing that I was talking about.
It's incredibly important that I remind you that when you hear her say he turned the bukkake into tacos and burritos.
What the fuck, dude?
This isn't a joke. This is her reality. This is the actual world that she lives in, which is kind of hilarious. It's tragic, and it's really sad for her that she's in this position. But it's also hilarious, let's not fucking lie.
So, scientists
try
what the fuck?
contacting Gail Kordschuler at G.
What just happened? Is she like fucking powering down? Oh my god. Yeah, so that's another video that's not a joke and is real and is an actual thing that exists. Here's one from just 11 hours ago. These other ones were like older videos. This one's from 11 hours ago. She cut her finger and somehow made a fucking 15-minute video about it. Talk about fucking playing for that ad revenue. You're never gonna see Tana Mongo pull that one off.
I had an emergency. I gave myself a surgical incision on this finger. It was by accident. See these scissors? I just got them like a couple weeks ago. These are kitchen scissors. These things are sharp.
Who let
That's
her
right,
use
Jenny.
scissors?
She calls them waterfalls. And there's a difference. There's a difference between diarrhea and waterfalls. She's so up her own fucking ass.
This is the
or falling out of her own fucking ass,
ass,
depending on how you look at it.
I don't know what's in it, but boy, this stuff works great. According to my acupuncture doctor, She said that she had a cat that injured his paws so bad, took the cat to the
She's
ER.
like
They said
like
they
I
needed
swear
to
to God,
amputate
like
the
I've
cat's
met
paws.
people that like
So she took the
remind
cat
me of
home
Gail,
and treated
like
the
look
cat
like her,
herself,
talk
and
like
she
her.
used this powder. The cat completely healed, and he was able to keep all his
She's like the
paws.
crazy
Jelly
aunt.
juice in
You know
powder
what I mean?
form? Okay, so, you know, she
Chili
cut a
juice.
finger,
He
I
just
guess.
brought up
It's not
chili
really the
juice.
most crazy thing. Yeah, nowadays she's a little less crazy about new cockies and whatnot. She's still up about the Jesuits and the...
Let me see if I can find the.
But she's really into Tulsi Gabbard, apparently. Here's her Playboy shots. Empress Gail at 61. Guys, get your fucking dicks out for Harambe, alright? This is gonna be some hot, sexy sex that we're about to witness.
These are what I have available for June 2019. I took these pictures on May 27, 2019 because someone wants some photos for June, and I wanted to provide something recent.
Who wants these? Who is asking for these? What sick fucking person is asking
Rich
her for...
Evans.
Ew, no, ew. She's like
Course.
fucking crazy and old. What's wrong with you, you fucking sicko? Oh god, maybe there isn't one. And she's just like, wants to put nudes on the internet. I guess that's also an option, but Jesus Christ. Quick shout out to anybody who's voting for Tulsi Gabbard, I guess. Just remember, this is who you're in the boat with. What? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Get down, Mrs. Obama. Okay, she's got scissors and blackface. This can only go well. There's no chance that this can go worse than it currently is.
John Tron.
I'm going to have to mute this entire video, I'm pretty sure, because it's got some song that's probably like copyrighted in every country plus one that doesn't exist. Speaking of which, I got that Onision stream claimed a little while ago. Not by Onision, but by some weird fucking artist nobody's ever heard of named Jan Junior Hammer. So Mr. Junior Hammer now owns the rights to that video, so that's pretty cool. Nuclear bomb on the way, needs scientists and military.
Oh, please,
now.
is this the one?
Okay, well, this was posted 7 years ago.
This
so
is it.
It's taken its sweet time, at least.
We have an emergency. The Jesuits are about to launch a nuclear bomb that has semen in it that will infect everyone. We need our scientists all over the world to help us stop this bomb. And also, it's going to be like Jesuit bukkake and a nuclear bomb that's headed towards Canada, where Judge Terrence Jenkins is right now.
So there's going to be a bomb in Canada. There's going to be a semen nuclear bomb in Canada. Maybe that's what Justin Trudeau's
bukkake
action
bomb.
was. You know
That's
what?
my
This makes
favorite
sense.
video.
In Canada,
Canada.
folks treat you like a queen. In Canada, they never will be mean.
Any scientists out there that can help us stop this bomb or come up with some sort of spermicide that will counter all the germs that are going to come.
Okay, what we need to do is we need to build a Canada-sized condom. Okay? Hear me out. It's going to go over the thing. You ever read Under the Dome? Exactly.
Yeah, Judge Terry Jenkins, or go to Gerard Butler, GERAR.
Okay, now Gerard Butler's in on this. This is the fucking most ambitious crossover.
Don't bring
since
Gerard
They
Butler
are going
in
to-
on your
The
bukkake.
nuclear bomb is headed right towards Canada right now, where Terry Jenkins is. We need scientists and military to intervene. This bomb can
There's other people
Terrance.
involved in this, I guess, who
Yeah,
are
that's
actual people that can
Terrance
use
calling
Skype. So
her.
who the fuck?
You there?
Yeah, it's me again.
Yeah, keep talking. I actually have the video going right now, and I think you're being recorded.
Oh my goodness, I'm on video. That's amazing.
Yes, say what you need.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
Well, our scientists and nanotechnology research team is saying that this is a new cocky. It's a new kind of nuclear bomb. It's a bomb that's got bukkake in it.
This is obviously like a troll. I'm new to whatever this is. This has been going on for a long time.
It's
so
been going
some of
on
you might have to explain this to me.
forever.
Did somebody like fuck with her and get this idea
Yes.
in her head? In which case, maybe don't like do that to people who are crazy on the internet?
Gray, the northern wall will be bigger than the
I
southern
think,
wall.
I think you're being recorded. I hope.
I know that this lady has some past history with the drunken peasants, so I'm just gonna assume that whoever this is that's calling her currently has a banana up his asshole.
Okay. All right, so
Never forget the amazing atheist who is
That was
from
Gail Cord
Ohio.
Schuler. If any of you have any additional
Likes to shove
interesting
bananas
information
in his ass.
to send my way, don't fuck with people on the internet who are crazy. Cause like, yeah, it's funny, but it's like really fucking funny. Like, okay, but you know, but don't tell somebody who's crazy that a new cocky is happening, cause they're going to believe you, and then they're just gonna talk about it for 7 years on the internet. And then they're gonna get Tulsi Gabbard elected. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, don't fuck with crazy people on the internet. Just let them be, you know?
I am
just
ashamed,
observe.
All right.
Are you ready for your interview?
Another kid.
Is there anything unique about you?
This is the last kid.
What do you mean?
I spread them out.
Unique, like something that's special about you.
I can do this.
Do you ever feel envious of your sister?
Oh my god, look at that sister.
With the boyfriend?
She is so...
Because I've been wanting to follow in your footsteps since your first one. And I haven't. I still don't have a boyfriend.
She don't have a boyfriend. Boys?
Boyfriend now, Max. And he's really nice and stuff, but I still haven't had one. I'm getting tired of it.
How would you describe your sister?
A tree.
A tree?
Let me finish, Sarah.
Let her finish, Sarah.
I love my sissy anyway. When I was at school still and I saw people like...
She looks like an old Jewish woman.
Because I don't have one.
What's it like for you when you hear Michelle say that she wants to follow in your footsteps?
I think it's really
That's
nice.
good. It's a good
because
description, Jenny.
It means that I have good footsteps to follow, I guess, you know? Like, it's something that she wants. Big footsteps. Yeah, big footsteps.
Sorry.
It's a path that she likes, and she likes the person I've become, so...
She's not a kid. Does she have progeria?
That's nice to hear.
What do you want someone to think when they see you for the very first time?
Sorry, I had to yawn when you...
Am I boring you?
Hallerman. This is called a Hallerman strife.
I just woke up at 5 this morning to go to the bathroom, and that's early.
I can't believe you're yawning at me. Am I not entertaining enough?
I am not yawning at you. I explained to you why I was yawning.
She almost called him an asshole.
You know, I'm a sensitive guy.
She was like, I'm not yawning,
I'm
you
gonna start
asshole.
crying in a minute.
No, you are not.
When somebody sees you for the first time, what do you hope they think?
That I'm cute.
I was
keep
walking
trying.
from my room across the hall to the bathroom, and Michelle was in her room alone with a full-length mirror.
And you were scared.
And she didn't know anybody was there. And I think she had on a new outfit or something. And she just looked at herself in the mirror and she just said, I look so good today. And like...
I don't even remember that.
I know, because that's like a daily thing for you. But a lot of people in this world do not have that kind of vision of themselves. And so I think that is one of the best things about you, because you are just so unapologetically yourself.
Be specific.
My next question.
Question what?
Question 24. Would you describe yourself
remember
as
that kid
sassy?
with progeria that used to like talk shit to his camera in his bedroom?
There's a lot of words that
I'm sure he'd
use
date
to
her.
describe Michelle. I know she doesn't like sassy, so I will say she is strong-willed and empowered.
She's fierce.
And has very specific opinions about things, and very smart.
I already talked to Chris about the sassy thing.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, I just think you are you know what you want, and you know what you think, and you know your opinions, and you want to assert them at every opportunity.
Would you mind sitting up for this one? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh my God, Chris. What was that all about?
Do you like goofy people?
Yes.
Why?
They make me laugh. Like I do.
She's a strong,
Okay, I'm going
independent
to ask
woman,
you
and she don't
question
need
number
no man.
1,700,082 of this interview. Are you ready? What are you laughing at? I'm serious. I'm keeping track.
No, you're going all over the place.
You don't believe
she's
him?
had enough
Are
of
you
you,
calling
Chris.
me
She's
a
had
liar?
enough of you.
No,
You're the biggest
I'm being
freak in
serious
this
over
room.
here.
No, I am not calling you a liar. But you went from 10 to 365.
Maybe you're calling me an embellisher.
No, I'm calling you Skipper.
You calling me a skipper?
Yes.
I've never skipped a thing in my life.
You're skipping numbers.
I would never skip a number. Now are you ready for question number 10,815?
Skipping numbers and yes.
Oh
You can
my
call me
god,
Skippy.
I bet her breath is fucking terrible.
Would you rather be seen as nice or confident?
I don't know. Maybe both.
I think you are both.
Yeah.
You love yourself the most of anyone I've ever known.
Yeah.
So I wish I could have an eighth of that.
No.
No, sister's a cutter. She hates herself. Sister hates
That
herself.
leads into
She's
my next
normal.
question
She's not bad looking. She
1,517.
fucking hates herself. This girl, no cares in the fucking
ready for it?
world. She's surprised she's
If you're
even
not
lasted
sassy,
this
what are
fucking
you?
long.
I guess kind. And I'm not sassy.
What's it like to be Michelle's mom?
Gail?
Being Michelle's mom is the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my
I'm
life.
sure it's rewarding.
As well as the most exhausting and worrisome thing in my life. I love her to death. I feel so blessed that she's in my life, along
Blessed like a
with all of her
curse.
challenges and all the hardships that we've all endured. She still is the strongest
This is why I'm
one
never
in the
gonna have
family
kids.
because she's the funniest. She's extremely
Because
smart.
I've made fun of
by
like
far and
every.
large,
This is
she
what
makes
my
me
kid
happy
will come out
when I'm
looking
down.
like. I'm
What
not
is
gonna bring
suctioning?
that into the world.
Are you asking me?
Well, why don't you answer and then I'll answer after.
Okay. It's to clear my trach so I can breathe.
Clear, yeah, so it's basically like blowing your nose for a person without a trach. It clears the mucus out of the trachea so that it's clear.
I like to go underwater and I can't because my trach.
What is a trick?
Really, Chris?
It's what I'm gonna.
I guess
It's what I'm
that's
gonna
silly,
have later
but
in life because of all the
it
cigarettes
helps me
I smoke.
to breathe. 'Cause I got a tiny nose.
Pretty much just like blowing your nose.
Oh my god, are we gonna get to
But
see it?
you
Let
don't
me
blow your
see
nose.
it.
So now I'm turning suction
Let me
on,
see your
so
trach, damn it.
So I dip it in the water first and then into the trach.
And I cough. I cough good.
Drain
Do you
it.
understand
Oh,
why
we didn't get to
sometimes your
see
mom
it.
might be worried about you?
Because I
She like an evolved third temple chew.
a lot of the time and because my meds give her a headache when they don't get approved. Oh my god. Yes.
A lot of times insurance and Medicaid, we have both, challenges
Yeah.
a medication all of a sudden out of the clear blue.
They don't
She'll have
get
been on a
approved.
medication for 7 years,
They
and all of a
don't get
sudden they
approved.
say, we're
Not
not going to approve that anymore. And it'll be like a $500 a month med.
Yeah.
And we jumped through the hoops, the appeals and all that. But it happens so much
Yes.
throughout the 22 years. That's what's
22.
exhausting. But it's a game that is played by insurance and Medicaid
And you have
to
to
keep
play.
their costs down.
And you have to play the game.
We got to play the game. We got to keep you going, Lady Jane.
When did you first learn to help your sister with the trach?
12, I think. I asked one day. I asked
Yeah.
my mom. I was like, I
Let's
can
get some of that
suction her. And I was
drainage.
like, what? I was like, yeah. Why not? I mean, it's an easy procedure, and it's one less thing for you guys to do. And so my mom taught me, and then what? 12 years later, I'm a newly graduated nurse.
Yes, and
right?
pretty soon,
What is your diagnosis?
Hallerman Street syndrome.
What is that?
It means I have 26 of the 28 characteristics. I can't say the words. Characteristics that make up me.
How would you describe it, Mom?
It's a rare genetic disorder. One of the
Can
primary
ask their rabbi
characteristics
for
of the syndrome
coverage and
is
get
craniofacial disorder, and along with that comes cataracts, small airway, recessed chin, dental anomalies, high palate, small nose, and then there's many other characteristics that can be associated. And like Michelle said, she has 26 to the 28, and you only need to have 7 or 8 to be diagnosed with it.
Do you have any fears?
Well, I can say this now, but years ago I couldn't even say it. I am afraid of robots.
Are there any questions you don't want to be asked?
This bitch afraid of robots. Put her on the fucking anti-robot council with fucking
I'm an open book.
Elon Musk and all the other people who are like, AI is gonna take over the world. She's our future. She's Joan Connor.
So I locked it in my closet. And
we need to protect her at all costs. She's the only one who can defeat the robot army.
Yeah, don't do that.
I won't even say the word robots.
Yeah, don't.
I'm not going to do that. I promise you, I won't say the word robots.
If I catch you doing that on Insta, I'm calling you out.
Have you two
She's
always
got
been
an
as close as you are
Instagram?
now?
I think so. I'm sure we had a few years, like teenage
She
years.
can probably.
where
We know she
kinda,
can't
like, in
probably
different
see
spaces in life.
with.
But I think now that we're in our
them,
20s,
Jenny.
we're both kind of like besties.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially on Insta.
Especially on Insta. Yeah, we send each other Insta messages and stuff.
And pictures.
And pictures. And selfies. And giffies.
I will never say the word robots. Robots will not come out of my mouth.
It's just it.
Again.
Gotcha, Chris.
That's my troll face.
Oh my god.
If you could go
She's got
anywhere in the
resting
world,
troll face.
where would you go?
Seriously, Chris, you already know this, but I'll say it. Disney. Chris.
If somebody sees you out in public, like at the grocery store or at the park, wherever you are,
Yeah.
do you want them to come up and say hi?
Yes, but they need to be at my eye level, like what you are right now, and they have to say their name.
Do you find it intimidating when they're up high?
No.
What do you think when people stay up high and talk to you?
They think I can see them right there, but I can't.
I don't know. I understand the thing of like you have to come
so
down
it's because of your
when
vision,
you talk to
and
a
when I'm this
child
close,
or
you can see
somebody.
me.
Yes.
Like
when
you
I'm
have
up
to
high,
get
you
down to
can't
their
see me.
level and stuff like that. But it always
Are you
feels
able to see far?
condescending to me.
Well, my right eye, I can see, but my left eye, is this.
But you don't
need
do
to
that
look
to like
past her
dwarfs, do you, or
differences
midgets or
into
something? You
her
come up to them
soul
like,
and
"Hey,
her
little
heart.
guy."
It's the biggest heart you'll ever meet.
What in this world makes you the happiest?
Piper, my dog.
Who is this gnarly beast?
She is not a little beast. She's a sweet dog called Piper. She's my
Hi, Piper.
daughter.
She's your
play with
daughter?
her. I love her. I can't take her out because I can't pick up.
Yeah, you know
food.
what I mean, Cindy?
So my
It just
parents do
feels
that,
very
but
condescending.
I hook her up to at least. I unhook her.
What's the best thing about being a dog mom?
Taking care of my sweetie. If she takes
Hi,
care
puppy.
of me when I'm sick or sad,
What are some things that make you sad?
loud noises scare me.
Loud
And then
noises.
she licks the tears off it, and now she's licking my foot.
Are you two able to enjoy the present without worrying about the future?
100%.
Never get down to their level. That's how they can spit in your face.
There, but we can, and it's yeah, you said it perfectly. It's unknown, but we have a. Go ahead. See, we're talking the same.
Oh, really, Hawk?
We don't focus on
Damn.
one
I bet.
day at a time.
One day at a time. We're all doing that. One day at a time.
Well said.
All right, folks. You know what's right around the corner? Christmas. And what better way to celebrate it than to fucking watch some Black Friday Freaks.
As the line moves. Oh, here they come. I really don't care. Uh-oh.
Just stop.
Here.
Stop.
Dude, Black Friday is like playoff hockey. There are no fouls called. They just let them fight.
Look at this, bro. Look at this. Hey. Fighter. Take that. Yeah.
Those two Muslims?
Pull it. Pull it.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
They're still going at it. Remember.
It ain't never that serious.
Man, just let go of it, you know what I'm saying? Grab that shit. Pull it. You know what I'm saying?
You don't snack? You put me on snack.
Nah, I ain't putting no snack. Got that like,
Don't count me in.
Don't get you, don't get you. Man, this wild, bruh. Yeah, what did you do? Stop it. Yeah, it is. Whatever it is. What is it?
I wish I had my phone. I would snack. Goodness.
Yeah, I'm catching all fights in here. My dude right there.
Aren't there like more next to her?
Let's take this upstairs and you give her the key. Okay, give it to her now. Let's get off the parking lot. Let's go upstairs, ma'am.
She's pregnant. Yeah, and I don't have anything. I've never touched her on the stomach.
Yes, I did. You said that you got it in her training. Let's go. Is that a
Of course she's pregnant. She's black. They're always pregnant.
Oh my God. Is that a pint? We're going to jail. You have IKEA property, and then we can get misdemeanor. IKEA property. They want to get some misdemeanors $30.
No, now it's assault.
No, you're insulting me.
Now it's assault. Gotta love the holiday season.
You can record her unless you give it a
She was showing my genitalia, and you did not have any permission.
No, and I'm not recording you. Okay.
Yes, you are.
And she's look.
You have that vacuum cleaner. It's always that cheap, so it's not worth waiting.
You need the keys. Hey, you can't give me keys.
That's right, Jenny. It's the true Christmas spirit.
I can't leave the kids in the car if y'all got her.
Okay, but we're not going to let her
and they're not going to walk in with them.
Sharing lefts and giving rights. That's what we're talking about.
I did that and won't go because keys are not found. It don't matter. It still goes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to leave now.
No, I need that.
All right, well, I'm going to leave now.
I told him that he ain't supposed to hold me like this and my hands around my back and make me lose my baby.
We are allowed to get
We're allowed to restrain you.
But you didn't reveal who you were. You never said nothing.
I said I was IKEA security at the top of the stairs, so you can't say that.
No, you didn't.
Is that a Best Buy? Don't.
No, I didn't see. No, I did not. I didn't see. Your badge was not out. Don't lie.
It's right here around my neck.
Girl, bend my finger. Do all that you want to do.
You are going to let go of my shirt.
Break your finger if you have to.
Break it. Oh, you heard him. He said break my finger if he has to.
Yeah.
Go of my
if they have to, they will. She wants to get her finger. She thinks that, like, oh, if she gets her finger broken or something, she'll be absolved of everything she done. And I mean, maybe in today's society, maybe she would. This is racism. How dare you restrain a fucking monkey chimping out?
Let me go.
Not a chance.
Give her a swift kick to the belly.
She's stabbing me. She's stabbing me. I ain't got my. She's stabbing me.
All you have to do is let go of her shirt.
What now? Brittany. Brittany.
You probably should. Hold on. You probably should let that lady shirt go so they won't charge you with assault. Though.
Oh, she's already got me. She scratched me and bit someone else.
Someone, look what they did to me.
Don't grab her shirt because you don't want to make it worse. If you having a baby, you don't want to make it worse. You know, especially you got these people stuffing your pants.
Okay, it's $30.
I know, but don't get an assault charge on top of that. You already said it was a misdemeanor.
I'm not answering it.
Me too, Cindy. I definitely feel bad for the employees. God, I don't ever.
No, not a chance.
The closest I've ever been to retail is stock boy and pizza delivery. I don't ever want to do anything other than that. Those people have the worst fucking job. Why are we just monsters? We walk into a store and we're like, oh, are you retail? Well, I'm your worst fucking nightmare. Retail person. God. Anyone who volunteers to work at Best Buy deserves it. Like he saw. That's right, Gray. Best Buy is fucking awful. I never go there. I've been there. I've been there a few times, but it's always terrible.
Okay, she drank the penny. Me too, Byron.
Why can't you just go upstairs? I am once you.
No, you're going up like this.
Come on,
you're gonna try and run.
Come on, babe, come on.
Are you the fucker that didn't? No, fuck no, Hawk. Dude, you order a pizza. If I'm the one who's bringing your pizza, that shit'll be there so fast, bro. I don't care if I'm taking triples, quads. Bro, you'll get your pizza. It'll be fucking hot. It'll be perfect. I was good. I mean, it's pizza delivery, but it's one of the only good things I could do in life. It's just the wop in me.
Okay, then once you're out, or you got to come back through the junior store.
The junior store.
Until everyone is in. Once everyone
Batman.
is in the junior store, we're gonna open up all the doors.
What up, Batgirl? Look at that dude's purple sweater. I need that shit. That's the one thing we really haven't seen in any of these videos is some good outfits for me. You guys know how I like my fucking outfits. You know my fashion style. I would think we'd see more, but...
Well, no, we're done. Okay? Thanks. You're not listening.
No, Gene needs that shit.
You say we're blocking the door. This is an exit only.
I want to get Gene some suspenders for Christmas.
Everyone out! Everyone out! Everyone out! Junior store right next to the window. Yep, it's a long distance. It doesn't matter when the line
It's funny how like exact it is, but like Gene uses the Fear and Loathing what's that guy, Hunter S. Thompson? He uses that. It was funny because I do look and dress like Benicio del Toro from that movie. It's spot on representation.
Hey, y'all, give a shout out to KHOU Houston. Channel 13.
An all-over convertible car.
Channel 13.
Oh, there we go.
Yo, what are you doing, bro? What is this fucking... Why are you filming like this?
Oh, that's all-over convertible car.
Back up!
And they're gone. And the manager coming.
Like Walmart thinks, oh, we'll put a yellow vest on somebody and like people will respect their authority. Yeah, fucking right. Get trampled. Filming in portrait with edge filter should be life sentence.
Brown shirt had it. Brown shirt had it.
It's going down.
Hey, that's Walmart Black Friday for you, son.
Black Friday? That's racist. Alright, let's move on here.
The 16th century was when traveling freak shows first became popular. So over the centuries they have produced many dark and interesting stories of freaks and their life on the road. It might sound harsh to call them freaks, but we live in a different era now, and there is really no other word for them.
I believe they were also called geeks.
So from the pig-faced lady to the elephant man, these are the 10 most shocking old freak acts.
It's about a group of carnival freaks that start a cult. It's a fantastic book.
Born in 1880, Minnie Woolsey was billed under the name Cuckoo the Bird Girl. Suffering from a very rare skeletal disorder, she had a small head and a narrow face. She also had no teeth or hair and is thought to have been completely blind. When performing, she would wear a Native American costume and speak in a made-up language.
Oh, geeks are
she
the
didn't seem to do
performers
much
that bite
other
the
than
heads off
dance around
chickens,
covered in feathers, but she was so well respected that she featured in the film Freaks, a film that was banned in the UK for 30 years.
30.
Like most travelling freaks, her background is very mysterious. The only thing we know about her early life is that she was rescued from a mental asylum. We also don't know when she died, but she was still performing in 1960. Maybe she's still alive today, travelling the world with the circus, aged 135.
I'm sure. I wonder if these are all going to be repeats.
Born in 1870, Ella Harper was an icon of freak culture. People travelled from all over the world to see the deformed woman known as Camel Girl. Her knees were bent backwards, which forced her to walk on all fours. She earned $200 a week for performing, which was a hell of a lot for the 19th century.
I mean, that's a
In
lot of money.
1886, she stated that she aims to leave the freak show business and pursue education. She disappeared from the business soon after. Records of her later life are hard to find, but according to the 1920 census, she was living in Nashville, where she died 1 year later. Born in 1901, Schlitzie the Pinhead became world famous for his role in the film Freaks. Having spent his entire life as a sideshow performer, he was known for his tiny head and lack of height. He was just 4 feet tall, he was short-sighted and suffered from mental retardation. He was said to be as intelligent as a 3-year-old and could only form basic sentences. He was usually billed as the last of the Aztecs, the missing link, or something even more offensive. His birth name was possibly Simon Metz, but that's been disputed as no one knows for sure who he was or where he came from.
It looks like these are all repeats. Is this a repeat?
Born in 1834,
Yeah,
Julia
mummified.
Pastrana was known as the Ape Woman,
Yeah.
or sometimes known as the Bear Woman. She had abnormally large
Freaks
ears and
is a
lips,
classic,
and her
right?
face was covered in thick black hair.
Alright, I'm gonna go on to the
which
next one
once
because
caused Charles
these are
Darwin
really
to
just
say her
repeats.
face had a gorilla.
And this is the last video. This is the last video that I have in the playlist, but I've got some other things on deck that a couple
Deviating from
of you
what is
guys
normal.
have sent
Some
me.
people spend
So
years
we'll throw
trying
those
to
in.
do just that, while others, well, it kind of just falls right into their lap.
Rob really does have some of the best videos. It's a shame he doesn't upload more often. Rob, we get it, you're a lesbian.
Most siblings have trouble getting along.
what is that
from
hair?
time
What are
to
you doing
time,
with
but
your
imagine
hair, Rob?
The siblings being attached. Giacomo and Giovanni Tocci were born in Locana, Italy between 1875 and 1877. The delivery process of the twins seemed to have been fairly simple since both
Look at
babies
that
were
meatball.
small in size, Both of the boys' parents were in a complete state of utter shock, however, when greeted with dicephalic conjoined twins. The initial shock in their appearance resulted in their own father experiencing a mental breakdown,
Wakanda, Italy.
sending him off to a month-long
Same
recovery
thing.
evaluation at a lunatic asylum. Both Giacomo and Giovanni were joined at their sixth rib
when,
and shared two legs.
That's when the
same
Moors
genitals,
invaded
and intestines.
Wakanda, Italy.
Despite the odds being stacked against them, the boy's father had an interesting plan in order to make the family some extra money. At 4 weeks old, the newborn twins were escorted from their hometown to the city of Turin, Italy. Their father desired additional financial income and thought it would be best to take the boys to Turin's Freakshow, where professors from the Turin Academy of Medicine could further exhibit the children. Astonished by the conjoined twins, Giacomo and Giovanni went on to serve the remainder of their childhood and adolescent years being exhibited in front of the public as a form of entertainment throughout major cities in Europe. Their popularity grew substantially over the course of their time with the Freak Show. And
they would have ended
Giacomo
up in
and Giovanni
prison if they
became
weren't
known
a
as the
freak and being
two-headed
Italians
villain.
at that
Though the
time.
twins shared one body, both possessed polar opposite personalities and were intelligent individuals that spoke Italian, German, and French. Giovanni appeared to be introverted and enjoyed
so they can
mineral
speak
water,
surrender
while
in
Giacomo
3
appeared
languages.
To be
Good for them.
extroverted and enjoyed quenching his thirst with beer. Unable to walk, they could only stand and would either use a wheelchair to move or crawled around on the ground whenever possible. In 1891, the boys traveled on an extensive American freak show tour that earned them $1,000 a week. Intriguing many across America, their one-year tour turned into a 5-year public exhibition. With their overwhelming earnings,
you know
the
what
boys
Rob's
were able
hair
to
looks
eventually
like?
retire
You ever
in
seen those,
1897 and lived out
I mean,
the
I'm
rest
sure
of
you
their
have those
days in a
pictures
villa in
of
Venice,
people
Italy.
that, like,
Their long years of
Photoshop
being used as a
dogs
form
into
of
hair.
entertainment caused the
That's
twins
what
to
his
stay
hair
hidden
looks
in their
like.
villa, as they both desired privacy from the public eye. Giacomo and Giovanni married 2 women in 1904, however, numerous reports speculate whether the two were actually dead or alive throughout the early 1900s. Together, the conjoined twins remained hidden from the media and led private lives
Boo-hoo,
together.
Genova,
It is
poor
not known when they
Italians.
passed away or if they
Hey,
ever
I'm American
had their
first
own
and
children.
foremost, Porky.
She was said to be the sweetest little farm girl you would ever meet, and just wait until you get a look at her legs. Myrtle Corbin was born on May 12, 1868 in Lincoln County, Tennessee.
She's
to
got
William and Nancy
legs.
Corbin. Doctors immediately noticed that
She
the newborn
knows
suffered
how
from
to
myositis, a
use 'em.
congenital
Who sings that
deformity
song?
that caused her to
Is
develop
it
her
ZZ
own
Top?
pelvis
ZZ
while
Top
carrying
sing
the
that song?
pelvis and
Somebody will know.
underdeveloped legs of her twin. Out of all 8 siblings, Myrtle was the only child to develop a rare medical deformity. Regardless of the spare pelvis and legs, her family reported that she thrived and was a perfectly healthy child. At the age of 13, Myrtle joined the sideshow circuit and was known as the four-legged girl from Texas. Though she physically exhibited 4 legs, only one leg was
ZZ Top,
dominant over
thanks,
the
guys.
rest due to a single clubbed foot.
I always
and the
have,
2 small
I always
legs
have
which she could
like
move, but
half
she could not use for
information
walking.
in my
Her
head,
main
but it always
attraction was
needs to be
dress up her extra
confirmed
limbs and
or
stockings, and
corrected
because of this,
somehow.
she would go on to earn as much as $450
like, yeah, I think
a
I
week.
know.
Being the unique figure she was had caused other performers to try to recreate her unusual physical appearance with phony limbs once she had left the sideshow business. Though she was successful in her adolescent years, Myrtle went on to get married when she was 19 years old, and together
God,
they settled down
what a
having
name.
4
Can you
daughters
imagine?
and 1 son. Doctors were
Having
able to
sex
conclude
with
that
a
each
myrtle?
pelvis contained
Oh,
reproductive
myrtle.
organs,
Oh,
which successfully
myrtle.
gave her the ability to conceive. Due to her extraordinary condition, Myrtle was featured in a number of medical journals throughout her life. Her incredible condition caused a major impact in the medical world, and on May 6,
6 limbs, so she's an
1928,
insect.
Myrtle
Good
passed away,
point, Jen.
surrounded by friends and family in Cleburne, Texas.
Do you have a portrait of Mussolini, like a proper Italian? I do, Strug. I have that one. You ever seen that
1885,
video
Martin Emmerling
where he
was
like
born in
he's
Nuremberg,
giving that
Germany.
speech on his
Seems
balcony and
like
he
just a
folds his
normal
arms?
boy. Growing up,
And he just
Martin didn't appear to have any
nods his
external
head.
deformities. However, he was born with a twisted spine.
My favorite
As a young
picture of
adult, he
Mussolini
was
is the
able to
one
train
where
himself
they
to
hung
twist
him
his
upside
head a
down and
full
fucking killed him.
180 degrees.
Fuck him.
Martin knew he could make a living from his talent
Piece of
and
shit.
decided to move from Germany to America with other European sideshow performers in 1921. It didn't take long for him to pursue an incredibly successful career performing with popular sideshow businesses such as Ripley's Believe It or Not and the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. His increase in popularity inspired him to change his name to Martin Lorello, but he took on a number
I don't think
of
her
different
name
names, such as
would be
the
your
Human
bigger
Owl,
concern
the
if
Man
you
with the
had sex
Revolving
with
Head,
her.
and Bobby, the boy with the revolving head. His unusual talent did leave many skeptical. When confronted, Martin stated that it took him 3 years to train his body.
That's very true, Gray. About
the training
Freaks.
had caused Martin to dislocate vertebrae and even
that's
caused
like
him to lose
cinematic
complete
history.
air circulation while twisting his head on stage. His acts caused him to attract massive crowds wherever he went and landed him on TV shows throughout the 1930s.
Is that for real?
1950s.
His head is backwards?
Martin was also known for training dogs and cats on stage, making them perform acrobatic tricks at his command. Though he did appear to be an amazing man who left his audience feeling amused and disturbingly unsettled, he didn't seem to carry the best reputation off stage. Sideshow performer Priscilla the Monkey Girl Bajano described Martin as a Nazi and an extremely unpleasant man. In 1931, Martin was arrested by police in Baltimore after abandoning his wife in New York. Martin's last recorded appearance was on the show You Asked For It in 1952. It would be 3 years later in 1955 when he would suffer a fatal heart attack at the age of 70. No one has since been able to display the same exact abnormal talents as Martin, making him an incredible part of Sideshow history. That's all for now. Remember,
he's
you
only
may
a
not
Nazi
believe
if you stand in front of
anything
him.
is possible in a world so seriously strange.
All right.
Thank you for watching. Please be sure to push subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of Seriously Strange. And I will see you next.
10 extreme body modification rituals around the world. Strog, did you send this one?
Beauty. What is beauty? It is inherently subjective. What one culture or even one person finds
I heard
to
we
be
find
beautiful,
people the most
another may
attractive
find
whose
strange,
features
wrong,
are
or even
symmetrical.
ugly.
So I don't know
Around
if
the
it's
world, many different people
that
and cultures
subjective,
practice a wide variety of body
maybe.
modification.
Maybe I'm just being a nitpicker.
Some go back centuries and have become a large part of their beliefs and religion. If nothing else, these are incredible examples of the adaptations our human bodies are capable of. Lip plating or lip stretching is one of the oldest body modification practices, dating back as far as 8,700 BC in Sudan and
Never
Ethiopia.
underestimate the blacks.
Why exactly
They
this
will
practice
clean that
began
plate,
is
put
unknown,
that shit right
with
in their
theories
lip.
varying from some claiming it was done for beauty,
Finish
or
that
showed
chicken
higher
wing,
status,
put that
and
bone
others
right in their
saying
nose.
It made
They
women
they
less
recycle.
attractive from slave traders and rival tribes. While having been practiced throughout the world at different time periods, it is now used by only a small number of tribes, mainly in Africa and the Brazilian Kayopo tribe. These are the Mercy people of the lower
Where is
Omo
Porky?
River Valley
Porky.
in Ethiopia. Here,
My power
women
level
will
is
pierce
none of
their
your
lips
fucking
6
business.
to 12 months prior to marriage, inserting a small stick. As it heals, slightly larger plates are added until the diameter reaches 8 centimeters, with some stretching as far as 20 centimeters. These clay plates are meant to symbolize a woman's strength and self-esteem, while also displaying their social maturity. Women create their own plates, decorating and including personal
That would explain why I'm not attractive. Fuck my life. Ayo.
In the small
Porky.
Kayan tribe located
Porky,
in
I've said the
northern
line
Thailand,
twice, even
a
though I didn't
common
get to say it on
practice
Friday.
of neck stretching takes place. This is done because women with long, slim necks are seen as more desirable. Female children at the tender
It's
age
kind
of
of similar to
5
like the
begin taking
Chinese
part in
foot
this
binding
practice.
that they
In order
used
to
do.
achieve
That was
these
China,
desirable
right? They
necks,
used to bind the
these
feet.
round coils, each weighing up to 4 pounds, are one by one placed around their neck. As time goes on, more and more coils are added, resulting in their collarbone as well as their shoulders being gradually pushed down, this giving the appearance of a longer and stretched out neck. Women of this tribe claim that the coils around their necks begin to be just another part of their bodies. As time goes on, the coils added can reach a staggering 25 high. The reason this tribe views long, slim necks as desirable
It's either Japan
is
or
because
China.
these women more resemble the
You should
very
show some
important
pictures of that,
mythical
you know?
creatures
Some of the
Kayan
foot
tribe.
binding.
Dragons.
Maybe I'll post some in the Discord.
Scarification is a cultural ritual that takes place all over the world within different tribes.
There are
Two
some
such
awesome
tribes are the Sepik
scarification,
River tribes of Papua New Guinea and the
like
Dinka tribe
art
located
that I
in
saw
southern
people doing
Sudan.
a while ago.
The Dinka tribe practices scarification on the face by using a blistering hot knife to scar line patterns into young boys as well as
Chinese
girls.
thought the bound feet
The
looked like
boys
lotus
are
flowers,
scarred
okay?
to represent their manhood within the tribe. Girls, on the other hand, are scarred with different patterns that are done for beauty. As this takes place, the children rarely, if ever, cry because a reaction to the pain is seen as weak, resulting in them losing respect within the tribe.
I mean, maybe
there are
that's real
various
blood.
tribes that practice facial scarification within Sudan, and many variations of scars identify different tribes, as well as the beauty of different women. The other tribes are the Sepik River tribes of New Guinea. This tribe uses scarification as a small part of a large ceremony that lasts weeks at a time. These ceremonies are for boys as an initiation into manhood.
Yeah, I think
After
this
the
is the
celebration,
crocodile
these
tribe.
boys are now men, meaning that they now partake in the responsibilities of the other men within the tribe or village. The scars that these young men receive are meant to emulate the rough skin of alligators. The Sepik tribe believes that the alligator consumes any presence of a boy within the body, resulting in the boy now becoming a man. Said to have been inspired by a dancer named Yao Niang,
this
who
might be
bound
it.
her feet into a shape
There
of
we
a
go.
moon while dancing on her toes for Emperor Li Yu is feet binding.
Li Yu.
For almost 1,000 years, young girls in China at the very young age of 5 or 6 would go through
Blood
the
looks more vibrant
extremely
against it.
painful
That's a good point,
process
Rock.
of feet binding. This was the process in which every toe, aside from the big toe, was broken and tightly wrapped under the foot, creating a triangular shape using silk cloth. These girls were then forced to walk
There's your
long
pictures,
distances in order to break the foot further and to settle the foot into the correct shape. As time went on, the foot would become shorter as the heel and sole of the foot slowly would come together. Extra pieces of skin were even cut off of the foot to correct the shape. The most desired feet would only measure a shocking 3 inches. These smaller feet displayed high social status and wealth. There is an underlying reason many poor mothers
That
would
bitch ain't
bind
got no
their young
feet.
daughters' feet, and that was to attract powerful and wealthy
triangles.
men. While this was all done in the name of beauty, these girls were often left crippled and deformed, which is why they had to have wealth, as they didn't need their feet to work in fields. Christian missionaries in the 19th century effected social change, meaning today only the very elderly still have these feet. The last woman to have their feet bound can be traced as recently as the 1930s.
1930s, fuck.
Among the best known cultures to sharpen their teeth are the Mentawai, an indigenous tribe located in the jungles of Indonesia.
Oh, that's gotta hurt
These people
so
believe that sharpened
bad.
teeth represent beauty,
Just
in which
imagine, like,
the
somebody
sharper and
grinding
more
your
narrow
teeth
the
out.
teeth are, the more
I
desired
can
a
feel
woman
it.
is.
Stop.
Sharpening of teeth is a practice that can be traced back as far as the ancient Mayans. The true reasoning behind this is not completely understood today. However, it is believed that the elderly women of these tribes would file down younger women's teeth using different stones as well as water to achieve desired shapes. The sharpening of teeth is seen as beautiful and elegant.
Yeah, real elegant. Their teeth
Traced
look like
back as far as
them ladies'
2000
feet.
BC, and maybe among the most well-known body modification tools is the corset. First becoming popular in the 16th century, it reached the height of popularity during the Victorian era. This painful technique was essentially the same as foot binding in China. It was just done to the waist rather than the feet. Women would tightly bind their entire torso just to squeeze their waists and create an hourglass figure. Over time, the corset evolved into different shapes and styles, but the concept remained the same: slim the waist. This practice altered the shape of the rib cage as revealed by this x-ray, and would often shift organs like the liver as well as damage the heart and lungs of women who used it. During the 1920s, corsets slowly faded out of common society.
Just be
and
yourself.
While not as popular as they once were, corsets and tight lacing are still used in modern Western society. The original goal of nose plugs for the women of the Apatani tribe in India was to become unattractive. See, before this tribe began to practice using nose plugs, they were considered to be the most beautiful women among all Arunachal tribes. Thus, they modified their noses and face as a form of protection, believing if they were undesired by the men of other tribes, they wouldn't be kidnapped or sexually assaulted. Women would wear these large wooden plugs in their noses, which over time became tradition. However, this tradition has slowly faded out.
All the social justice warriors you see that do this type of shit,
which had these women not used nose plugs, may have never been possible were they kidnapped by rival tribes. Only the elderly women still use these nose plugs, meaning that when their generation passes, so does this part of their culture and will forever be gone. Otzi the Iceman is a name that you may not be familiar with. He is a frozen mummy who was found by tourists in 1991, dating back to an incredible 3,300 BC. What is important about this discovery is that he is the earliest example of humans using body modification. He was found with tattoos on his back and legs as well as stretched earlobes, measuring a 0 gauge in today's measurements, or about 8 millimeters. Ear stretching has been a custom practiced for thousands of years across multiple
not gonna
tribes.
lie,
There are
my
various
buddy
tribes
Snake
in Africa,
used to have
Eurasia, and people
gauges
virtually throughout
like
the entire world
that big.
who stretch their ears.
He used to do
There
that
are
shit.
many different techniques in doing so. Some, like the Maasai tribes of Africa, stretch ears using small weights to stretch down their lobes. Others, like the Huarani of the Amazon, also use weights as well as pieces of wood or stone, using increasingly larger pieces to stretch out their earlobes. This tradition holds symbolism and beauty among tribes, often holding religious meaning as well. Among some tribes, stretched ears are believed to fight off evil spirits, as well as witchcraft. This body modification has continued to take place for centuries and is incredibly spread throughout the world, from tribes in Africa to the Western
he
world
actually
in
hasn't.
Europe and
He actually
North
hasn't
America.
worn his gauges in a long time, and he can still
This
fit like
somewhat
2 fingers in
alien-looking
his
skull
ears.
is actually
They
the
don't
product of
heal.
human modification, known as skull elongation, a practice that incredibly shows up all throughout recorded human existence. Skulls like this have been found around the world, from Iraq to Africa, Peru to Russia, and even pharaohs in Egypt, like Tutankhamun, who also happen to have stretched out earlobes. The African tribe of Zari began to place bindings around infants' skull in order to produce the desired effect. When a child is still young, our skulls are very soft.
Never
This
mind the
is because
brain
as
inside
children,
of your
our brains
skull.
grow extremely
Let's
fast,
just fucking
often
stretch it
even
out.
faster than bones.
Stop
Because
trying
of
to
this,
fuck
the
around
skull
with-
has to be
with
flexible
nature.
in order to allow for the growth of our brain. This, therefore, allows for the manipulating of how and where the skull grows. When and where exactly this began is unknown, since it dates back so far. But what is known is that the Vanuatu people believe that the longer the skull, the more intelligent they are. It is also seen as a greater
that's why
social
they're still
status
living
in
in
Borneo.
fucking huts.
Incredibly, as late as the 1960s, the Mangbetu people of Africa continued skull elongation for beauty. Cameroon, Africa, where maybe the most horrifying and barbaric body modification on this list is practiced: breast ironing and flattening.
Oh, I forgot
This
about
is a
breast
method
ironing.
used on women to stop girls at the early stages of puberty, around the age of 9, from growing matured breasts. Tightly wrapped bands are placed around young girls' breasts, as well as pounding with spatulas to stop their breasts from developing. Breast ironing consists of stones and steel being heated to extremely hot temperatures over fire before placing them on the breasts of girls in an attempt to melt away the fat within the breast, thus flattening their chest.
Wait, why
This
though?
dangerous and horrible practice takes place to make women less desirable to men. Strangely, this technique doesn't actually work. When breasts begin to heal, women must go through this procedure again and again, which in turn causes severe psychological and physical damage.
Like you
over
my
time.
girl
In
now.
early
We gonna have to iron them breasts,
2016,
okay, baby?
Reports came out of Britain that mothers were using this technique on their children, using spatulas and even hammers to pound down breasts.
Fucking Christ. Alright, what we got here? About a half hour. Let's, got another video here. I think, Rock, did you send this to me? Did we watch this already? Maybe. Maybe not. It's only 2 minutes. It's true, Gray. It's okay to be mean. Look at them feet. She's like, it's like, it looks like they caught Big Bird with half of his costume off. Don't we all have a third leg? Look at him, he proud as shit. Look at that. Check this out, ladies. All right, let's see what this is.
Don't call anybody.
And that was the bar too.
Was that really Chris Chan? Chris Chan maces a GameStop employee? Was that really Chris Chan? Rocky sent this? Yeah, yeah, Mallow would definitely love it. I'm gonna watch that again.
Don't call anybody.
And that was the bar too.
That's assault, brother. It's assault. Let's see what this other one is. Bub.
Hi, this is Lil Bub.
Hi, Lil Bub.
She's a cat celebrity, and that happened by accident, sort of. I mean, I posted photos of all my cats because it's a recording studio and people would always become friends with the cats and everyone knew my cats and I'd post photos and people liked it. And so when I got Bub, I did the same, of course. The response that I got from those photos of Bub were, whoa, what is this cat, you know? And, you know, I joked around like, aha, my cat's gonna be famous, you know, to my friends. Like, as a joke, you know, not really expecting anything to happen.
Didn't
Eventually,
Lil
a
Bub
photo
die?
went viral, as they say.
R.I.P. Lil Bub.
Bub is now 2.5 years old. She has a lot of funny things about her. Her teeth never grew in. Her tongue sticks out all the time. She's got extra toes on all her feet, and she's tiny. For me, I guess what I didn't realize when I got her, it was sort of a mind-blowing experience for me. Like, I called her the most amazing creature on the planet. And I really thought that. I was like, there's no other animal like this. And beyond her looks, it's just like this energy that she has. I didn't realize that other people would sense that too, even just from photos.
Oh, Jean's back.
That's a funny face. She wants to
Are you
let
guys
people know
effing
there's
for
pets
Lil
out
Bub?
there that need homes. If you want a pet, the best thing to
Or
do is
did I
adopt
actually
one.
go down?
I think she would encourage people to go out. Even if you don't have room for a pet, you can still volunteer at a shelter. The relationship I have with Bub is something I've never experienced before. I mean, this is maybe the first time I care about someone more than myself. All the book, show, all that crazy stuff, that occupies my time, but the best part of having Bub is actually having Bub. And, you know, people see her in photos and stuff, but as just a cat that I live with, she's remarkable. She's like a really, really special companion, and I'm just very lucky to have her.
Okay, I figured it was for the cat. Alright, let's see. I got another video here somebody sent me.
What is up, Facebook?
Oh, y'all! If y'all niggas don't know King Cobra.
YouTubers and social meteors, not meteorites, but whatever. So I should be getting wands tubed up today, hopefully. Sometimes being a good friend is not easy, let me tell you. Especially when there are certain situations in play, you know. Just a random hypothetical. If you haven't been laid in 6, 7, 8 months, and your friend just got out of a shitty relationship, and they're bragging about all the pussy they're tapping.
This dude has like documentaries about him. Like
oh, yeah,
he's
fucking.
fucking. He's so internet famous.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of had to unfriend Tina from Facebook. The way she came over was just disrespectful to me in my apartment like that the other day. I'm sorry, Tina, but no. I've known Scotty a lot longer than I've known you.
Yeah, Jenny,
apartment,
he's a
started yelling at
goth.
Scott through my window, so all my
He's a
neighbors
goth,
could fucking hear.
and he
It was
makes
just complete
wands,
disrespect.
and he thinks he actually knows
no.
magic.
No. And apparently Tina would talk shit about me behind my back to Scott because she'd get jealous that he'd hang out with me more than her. And it's like,
Lil Bub is still
bros
alive?
before hoes, and chicks have the same code. Chicks
Fuck
before
yeah.
dicks.
I
am
thought Bub
right?
died.
Well, apparently that's how it's supposed to go if you have a real friend, but if you got a fake ass friend, they'll choose sex over you every time. A true friend is once in a lifetime. Pussy's pussy, you know what I'm saying? But we're about to give
pussy's
this
pussy.
Here,
Sure.
This garlic shampoo a real test for its money. So after a bit, like after this video, I wanna skedaddle out of Seattle. And
Pussy's
quick shower
pussy
and,
when you can't
you
get
also had to
any
shave my,
pussy.
my widow's peak on camera to form a goddamn devil's lock, which ended up forming a cobra's lock because when my bangs are twisted together, it forms a cobra, like legitly. The devil lock, as they call it. Which is like this goth look that a lot of punks and emos and scenes and goths are doing with their hair these days.
What the fuck?
Apparently this style of hair is really in right now, I guess.
Yeah,
I've never
sure.
gone to a barber. I've always cut my own hair.
It shows.
To make my devil's lock more defined, I went and shaved my peak around it. That might actually help it stimulate hair growth better too, I reckon.
Oh, Danknet puts out some good shit. I almost put some Danknet videos in here, but then I remember Cog had watched a bunch of his shit.
Now, I've seen Gothic D do this to her hair, so like, why the fuck not, right? I see a bunch of goth people doing this. If you come back on stream bald, so help me. Oh no. I just did my widow's peak again, much like that Devil's Lock look. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how the fuck I pulled that off. And Scott's even offered to pull a Magic Man for me a couple times for some of the hot chicks he's dating, and I'm like, nah, dude, I couldn't do that. Like, it'd be fun, don't get me wrong, but one, I don't want sloppy seconds, and two, that's kind of mean to do to a chick if she's expecting
oh my God, he's
that she's
hideous.
fucking this tiny dude, and then next thing you know, this dude is like a little bit taller comes in, she's gonna notice. Isn't that just fucking funny when other people are more concerned about your sex life than you are? It's the law of the jungle, man. First come, first serve. So even if Scotty said, bro, I kind of almost got with this chick, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
They probably all just look
I'll
alike,
set you
Gray.
up. I'll be like, nah, dude, you saw her first.
He makes you get... Ladies,
like
you're
that.
not turned on?
But notice what
He's
being
an
a
eligible
gentleman
bachelor.
gives me, an 8-month dry spell. Dude. Benevolent sexism. What the fuck is...
He's a fucking
Some of these
warlock.
women,
That's
you
right,
just get
Strong.
some good dick in them and just calm the fuck down. When I'm sitting there going, okay, I got a big dick, I got the big muscles, I play a mean guitar, how the fuck do I not have a girlfriend? I'm excellent with kids, and I'm
Nobody
excellent
with
animals.
a big
I'm
dick
excellent with elderly
says
people.
they have a big
How the
dick.
fuck do I not have a girl? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting there scratching my head going, okay, a lot of chicks would kill to have a dude with big muscles and a huge dick, so what the fuck? And most dudes don't have 7,000 plus subscribers on YouTube. I'm just saying.
Imagine the smell,
of it's an
hard
intimidation
pass.
factor because they see me as a YouTube celebrity. They're thinking, oh, he wouldn't talk to me. Really?
Being a gentleman isn't the reason for the dry spell,
I don't know. I've
dumbass.
gathered wisdom and these
He's
profound
gathered
thoughts
wisdom,
of mine from just life experience in general and watching other people interact. There's times when I'm like, man, I hate being single. But then one of my homies comes over and starts bitching about their girlfriend, and I'm like, single life. Checking this stuff out, man. Ooh, Cobra got himself some cologne. Look out. Benign sexism or benevolent, whatever the fuck it's called. Personally, I think prostitution should be legal. That way women could have the power for themselves instead of having the pimps do it, put all the money in their hands. And that way, you know, it's pretty disgusting the way some pimps treat their women. Like, straight the fuck up, dude. See, I got a lot of shit.
I'm a motherfucking PIMP.
People called me a faggot because she had short hair. People made a video of Summer and photoshopped Justin Bieber's face right on top of her, just to be funny. So yeah, trolls did some pretty mean things. They said she looked like a chemo patient because of her short hair. They talked a lot of mad shit. Oh, she's a shitty tattoo artist, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, I'm like, yo, I got a girlfriend that does tattoos, plays video games, and can't get pregnant, and listens to heavy metal. So y'all are just fucking jealous. Suck my Asperger's. I got a lot of shit fitting people in town.
Suck
People
my Asperger's.
shot faggot out the window because they thought she was a dude.
Kinda strong,
like,
yeah.
Dude, I've seen her naked, so fuck all of you. And I was willing to look past that shit and support you the best I could. You know what I'm saying? You get that to
Like,
yourself,
this video
B,
isn't from his channel. He has his own channel on YouTube, but this video is from King Cobra JFS Bites or something like that, where he takes
You have a stressful day
clips.
where life makes you want a cigarette. Hey, bro, what's up?
No, hey, I got something to share with you.
Okay, yeah, give me a second.
Alright, you don't need to back door.
Alright.
People just walk up to you. I know he got swatted at one point too.
Excuse me, Facebook. Oh, look at that! It's magic. He changed like a Super Saiyan. No, I'm just kidding. They're just cargo pants. Calm down. I'll catch you on the flip side.
All right. What do we got here? About 15 minutes. I got a lot of people sent me a bunch of videos, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to get through all of them. This is a pretty long video, so we're not gonna be able to watch it all.
He took me as a little
Anything
baby.
that we didn't get to,
Early
I will
70s,
save
took me to the field house.
and the next time we get a chance, we'll have ourselves another freak show. So if you come across some videos that you'd want for a freak show, just save them or send them to me and I'll bookmark them.
I should have followed through, and it haunts me to this day. I have a dream of coming onto the field.
This is Big Lenny, in case you don't know
never
who this
playing
is.
the game.
That's the Tom Platz of abs right there, everybody. What's your goal? What are you going up to?
700 pounds ripped. I think there's a whole fucking fetish called the Big Lenny fetish.
Thanks for coming out, Gray, man.
And I was thinking the perfect thing to do before
Also, Lenny, you're looking at him and you're going, man, that dude's tan. That's not a tan. That's not a tan. His skin is permanently changed because of the steroids.
Fat fucking Lenny, huh? Did you people say, look at his thighs? Fat fucking Lenny, huh? Fat fucking Lenny, huh?
That's a
Fat fucking Lenny.
That's Big Lenny, Jenny. The Big Lenny, Jenny.
And people say, what if you die, Lenny? I was told, what if you die? Well, if I die, I want you to oil it up, put me in the posing trunks, and roll my corpse on that stage next to Dale. I'll still be bigger and harder than him as a corpse.
Just needs mopped.
Of all the creatures to crawl out of the fetid swamp that is the YouTube fitness community, Big Lenny may be the most bizarre.
Also, this is a documentary. I don't know if you guys know Porcelain. Porcelain does documentaries too on people, mainly from the internet.
Despite initially appearing
this
as a
is
side
Beige
Frequency.
Frequency.
Lenny was actually one of the original
he does
Misfits, dating back to
documentaries
1998
too.
at
His
the
shit's
original
pretty
World's
good
Gym.
as well.
It would be hard to do a video about Big Lenny without talking about his old powerlifting days alongside the enigmatic Andrew Colora. Lenny would take any opportunity to discuss their exploits and praise
what he
Colora's
looks
now
like?
legendary 650-pound raw bench.
Well, Andrew is arguably one of the greatest gym lifters.
Look at
of
him
all
with
time.
normal
By the
skin.
way, he's not talking about me, folks. He's talking
What
about...
he did in a gym with no support gear, I don't think anybody could have done. Powerlifter, bodybuilder, I've yet to see it. But anyway, we got a 650-pound raw bench on here that Andrew did when he was 24 years old. No wrist wraps, no belt, no bench shirt, nothing but balls and guts.
And we're going to try to get the video of it uploaded to my YouTube channel.
God, some of these fucking dudes, man.
This feat was
Like,
made
look,
even
it's
more
one thing to
impressive
keep
because
your
Andrew
ass
Colora
fucking
was
healthy,
24 at the time,
you know.
and had apparently only
But
been lifting
fucking
for a few
man,
years.
dude, people are like, I gotta
It may
be
seem odd
the
to
biggest
talk about
I can
somebody else's
fucking be.
16-year-old bench press record in a video about Big Lenny.
Relax.
But in my opinion, it was
That's
strange
coming
little
from a
things
fucking
like this
chain
that not only
smoker,
made
by the
Big
way.
Lenny so intriguing, but also added to the mystique of the Delray Misfits. The
Like,
idea that there was a
keep
whole
yourself
universe of
fucking
lore
healthy.
and borderline mythical figures
There is
that
such
we
a
never
thing
even
as like
saw
going
made the Delray
overboard with
Misfits
like
videos feel
exercise
alive
and health and
personal.
shit like that.
When you were drawn into that universe, you couldn't look away. And a huge part of that atmosphere was because of Lenny.
Personally, for me, I think part of the thing
physical,
that
and
drives a lot of
psychological
these people
characteristics.
is like
The most obvious of which is his
not just like
tremendous
lack of
gut.
confidence
Although
or
Lenny was
insecurity,
given the
but like
nickname Fat
fear of
Fucking Lenny,
death.
his gut
You
is
think if you can like
surprisingly muscular,
run 20
at least on the
miles and
surface.
eat perfectly
Even
for
when
your
in
whole
show
fucking
condition,
life, that
Lenny's
like
gut is
you're
still
not gonna
incredibly
die.
large and bulbous looking. This has led many people in the bodybuilding community to claim that Lenny has the worst case of Palumboism ever discovered. Palumboism being an as yet unexplained phenomenon, named after bodybuilder Dave Palumbo. While the topic of bubble guts has become increasingly common in the bodybuilding world in recent years, Palumboism seems to be entirely different.
Just because
from the
it's
malady
muscle doesn't mean it's
afflicting
healthy.
individuals like
That's
Phil Heath.
very true, Jenny.
A bubble gut can be reversed.
I mean, and you always
But
wonder the
Palumboism
same
appears to
things,
be
right?
permanent.
Like, How do you wipe your fucking ass?
Also withers the limbs of the sufferer.
How do you do like normal things? Because you can't get your fucking arms up.
No one really knows the cause
like
of
you can't
palumboism,
do anything
but
with
Big
them.
Lenny's condition is so severe.
And if you're gonna do that, you better not fucking skip leg day.
Many explanations for Lennyism.
Believe it or not, I actually used to be somewhat of an athlete in high school, even though I was a terrible fucking kid.
Ascites is commonly caused by liver damage,
and
which
I used to
sense
love
given
leg
Lenny's
day.
consumption
Leg day was
of
my
every
favorite.
performance-enhancing drug from testosterone to elephant abortion inducer. Lenny is also infamous for his use of a product called melanotan 2, which is responsible for giving him a skin tone darker than a Haitian man. However, the name melanotan 2 is often attached to a variety of unverified
We're not gonna
substances.
go. We're just gonna watch this until for like another 7
In many
minutes.
Videos, the whites of Lenny's eyes are noticeably yellow.
And if you guys want to finish it, I'll put the link in the description.
He'll try anything. Look at you. He's like fucking. Look at that jaundice. Holy fuck.
Look at that jaundice.
Unfortunately, it seems unlikely that Lenny will change his ways. In fact, Lenny has treated his massive gut as a point of pride. In his mind, he actually has the biggest and most muscular midsection in the history of bodybuilding, comparing his gut to the legs of bodybuilding pioneer Tom
Exactly,
Platz.
Rock.
I have the best
Like,
midsection in the
really,
world.
the only thing you
Top
really
class,
need
that's
to
my best body
lift
part.
is your own body weight. You don't need to be lifting 3, 4, 500 pounds like constantly just to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I understand the phenomenon, and I understand the whole human psyche spirit thing of well, they say we can't, which makes us want to do it. I understand that. But really, as long as you can lift your own body weight, you're perfectly fine.
And what intrigues so many people about him in the first place. Like Jason Genova, Lenny is a self-defined freak.
Who? Jason
and
who?
As the Genovapedia says, quote, "Fat fucking
Oh yeah,
Lenny
you guys
might
don't
be
know
the
about
only
Jason
person who is
Genova.
actually more insane and
His
delusional
fan
than
club
Jason,"
is called
unquote.
Genova's Witnesses.
In fact, Lenny may be delusional enough for the both of them.
You know what I like about? I'll tell you the story about Jason. The first time I met Jason, I was with my partner Andrew. You know, the big venture.
By the way, that video is doing great. By the way, that powerlifting. Did you see it after I uploaded it? Okay.
Be able to do that. So we saw Jason.
I agree with that 100%, Rock. Most dudes working construction could outdo this guy in most things. Exactly.
Screaming and yelling, he was forcing out the reps. One of the most intense.
Two men rubbing each other in spears. Oh, you don't like that, Jenny?
Hit it off. Yeah, that's how we. And I'll tell you another funny story about Jason. You know, the gym was packed here at prime time. This is about 5 or 6 years ago. And Jason walked up to the front desk, grabbed a stack of business cards. You know, they're blank on the end. He grabbed a pen. And he went up to each member. He was nice enough to go up to each member and say, "Today's your lucky day. You can have my autograph for free because in a year or two, you'll be paying for it." He signed it, and he was nice enough to pass one out to each member.
Yep. Did you really do that?
Yeah, and we thought that was very, very nice, very philanthropic.
Yes. He is one of the few people to view Jason's physique in a positive light, and possibly the only person to give Jason genuine praise and encouragement.
Whoa, I mean, look at them legs on him. Look at them quads. Look at Jason's ass. As tight as a drum.
Also, if you think that's gay, Jenny, Big Lenny likes black dudes to pound him in the ass,
own peculiar
and sometimes even does it on live
now infamous
streams,
rants. Delivered in a stream of consciousness fashion, Lenny's rants
and wants
between
them
the
to
topics
treat
of
him like a
bodybuilding,
dog.
social commentary, philosophy,
So there you
war,
go.
gender roles, and sex.
I'm surprised I got 90. I never knew I was that fucking strong.
You know why? You only use a smidgen of your mind.
I prefer doing the rubbing myself,
So much negativity.
but not on
so
any
from
of
day
these
one,
guys.
You can't do this. You're going to get hurt. This, that, and the other. You got to do this. Women got to go to school. No, you don't. You got to go balls out. Make yourself a Superman. Women need to know how to raise kids and cook.
Oh, he definitely paused, Jenny.
And take care of the man, so they make him Superman. That's why you got a bunch of douchebags running around. No one's a real man anymore.
I see one
It's no
douchebag.
secret. And like I predicted, unless things change, we're going to be a satellite nation of the Chinese. And then we'll see what
I mean, he's
slave
not
labor's
wrong.
While his rants were often barely coherent, The unhinged
As if the
passion with
Chinese
which
would
Lenny
ever be
recited
that
them
successful.
could be eerily convincing. Above all else, Lenny does not want to be what he deems a cookie cutter. Somebody who follows popular trends and attempts to fit in with the crowd.
Looking
Despite
like a
railing
roided
against
up
bodybuilding pretty
doughboy.
boys like Jay Cutler, fans have pointed out that Lenny's typical shaved head and beard look fits the cookie cutter description. Lenny countered this by saying that he sometimes uses the cookie cutter mentality
Such a
as
Superman,
psychological
let's
tool.
see you climb a ladder.
You're right about the beard. I'm just doing it for a psychological reason. But the bald head.
Strong. His heart, I think his liver's all fucked up. He's so fucked.
According to the person behind that little keyboard that never gets out from behind. But you know, sometimes I use the cookie cutter mentality. It's a psychological tool. I like to test people psychologically. That's my fun in life, if you will. I like to see how people treat me with different colors and different looks. Are you growing But he is right, yeah.
If we explore the concept further, it could be said that Lenny's attempt to defy convention and conformity is the highest expression of being a cookie cutter itself. But that begs the question: does being the ultimate cookie cutter make you a cookie cutter?
I think most
or a freak?
likely, Rock.
Lenny's unorthodox attitude pervades almost every aspect of his life, especially the way he views diet and lifting. On one occasion, Andrew caught Lenny eating an entire raw egg.
What is this, The Replacements? Did he watch The Replacements? Have you ever seen The Replacements with Keanu Reeves, where they get like a sumo wrestler to play football and he just eats like raw eggs?
Is that a raw egg?
Don't let the viewers see this.
Oh, they're seeing it.
Actually,
they're seeing it.
My joints, the secret. I hate to give it out. Eggshell membrane.
What?
I know, with the shell. Look, if I'm eating eggs and there's even a little bit of shell in there and it grinds against my teeth, I'm done with all those eggs. I'm done. I don't want that shit.
Is that a little bit of protein? So you just ate a raw egg?
There does actually appear to be evidence to support this idea, but other aspects of Lenny's training philosophy do not seem to be as sound.
He can barely.
In particular, he became famous for his
I
unique
don't think
style
that's
of lifting
proper.
that consisted of using relatively
I don't think
light
you're
weight
supposed to.
with a virtually
I don't think you're
non-existent range
supposed
of
to like
motion in an attempt to keep tension
go
on the muscle.
backwards like that. All right, it's 12. It's midnight.
This was in spite of the fact that Lenny regularly trained alongside Big J Masters, who was considerably stronger. And during particularly intense sets, Lenny was also known to discharge large quantities of nasal mucus.
This is going to be a snot-oozing set here, viewers. All you booger fetishes out here, and I know there's...
All right, before he starts getting to the boogers. If for some reason I watched this whole documentary, I find this type of shit fascinating. If you want to watch it, there's the link to it to finish it. It's about 40 minutes. Like I said, if I didn't get to your video tonight, we will get to, at some point I will get to them again. Gene is back. Heretic is back on schedule. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday we're talking about Peter Jackson. Wednesday is movie night, and Friday is the horror edition, slasher edition of the Esau Fatworm Cinematic Universe, where we create our own movie and we make Esau the star. We've done 2 installments already. This will be the 3rd one. Esau is tricked into going to fat camp, where a slasher is on the loose, and Esau will be our final girl. And because we're back, I'm sure Banner Rants is back too. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do any more of these ether streams right now. I will try to find some time. If you guys are really interested and you guys had fun and you guys want me to do more of them, let me know, and I will definitely try to get some done. Like I said, I don't know. I would even say, hey, I could do one like once a week, but you know, Banner Ants and Gene and Sweets and Hawk stream sometimes, and I already do 3 streams with Gene, so At some point, there will be more Ether streams. Quitter. What a freak show. Thanks to Nova. Thanks to Nova. That was fun. Yeah, so I appreciate everybody coming out. We've had fun these last, was it four days? From Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. These last 4 days, it's been great to hang out with you guys for the spook shows and the freak show. And I will see you guys on Monday on the Heretic channel. So thanks for coming out, guys. Appreciate everybody showing up. Appreciate the bands. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.